a HeadGum podcast.
This is All Fantasy Everything, the podcast where we fantasy draft anything and everything from the world of pop culture. Today, we're drafting things that are funny when they happen to other people. Scroll Down, a new podcast about the chaos that is social media, available now on the HeadGum Network. I'm your host, Ian Carmel, and we're joined, as always, by my friends, comedians, and visionaries, Sean Jordan and David Borey. Let's get into it. Welcome to another brand new episode of All Fantasy Everything, the podcast that is going to a hotel in Malibu today, going to the Nobu Ryoku or whatever hotel, because my fiance
Nobu Karate, I believe.
Nobu Karate. It's the oh god, what is that? Johnny Bravo's Malibu Karate? What is that place called? Fuck.
Oh,
Hold on.
the place that's in the real place you're talking about?
The real place, dude. Joey Escobar's Malibu
Joey
Karate.
Escobar's Malibu Karate, and then Buck Song Kim. Is that what it is? In
Buck
Glendale?
Sam Kong in this Glendale. I'm staying the night at Joey Escobar's Malibu Karate. No, Dana got like some sort of weird like influencer deal to stay at the fucking Nobu Hotel.
Cute.
I know, so I'm gonna go up there. I got my linen pants drying right now.
Oh, how romantic.
Yeah.
Congrats, by the way.
Are they gonna make you take nudes?
I'll take some nudes. I'll take some linen pant nudes where it's like, because I'm backlit, you can see everything.
Yeah,
Just like,
Oh my
I
God.
spilled some white wine.
Yeah.
Forward them to me.
Yeah. I'll get everybody on a chain with that.
Thank
for
you.
sure.
Appreciate it.
Sean S. Jordan is here. Sean S. Jordan on Twitter. Sean Cougar Melon Jordan on Instagram. Sean had about enough of the beanie bashing
I'm just
in real life.
tired. I don't want to bring it in. It's my baggage. I'll leave it upstairs. But
It's your beanie baggage.
Beanie
my
baggage.
beanie
It's a
baggage.
beanie full of baggage.
I woke up and the salad wasn't really doing it, so I threw a beanie on, knowing that it was going to get mentioned, and then it got mentioned. So it was my bed. I took a nap in it.
I did not bring it up. I just want the record to show I don't give a shit about no beanie.
Yeah, Marcel didn't bring your beanie up at all.
I know.
I did. I brought it up.
David did, and then the second I logged in, I compared you to.
Didn't even haven't seen him in over a year, and the first thing was that's beanie.
The first time I wore it, Ian called me B Rabbit because I had it pulled down too far. I'm not wearing it like the kids are doing it.
I almost said called you P Rabbit again. You know, that's how the shift at the Ford metal pressing plant was going.
Putting doors on is hard, man. It never gets easier, you know. I put doors on
Ian,
for 8 hours.
Ian, what are you doing? Are you taking your makeup off? What's
No,
happening over
I'm
there?
doing a.
Can I take this? It's funny you bring it up. It's kind of
Go
a
on.
twisted situation. A lot of times what Ian will do when they go to bed is he'll get up like he has to go to the bathroom, and then he'll come back to bed with Joker makeup on. And
Just like the
just,
Joker.
Just show Dana how twisted he is, and then
What a stupid joke. I can't believe you wasted everyone's time with that, Sean. I
wouldn't
can't
say I
believe
wasted.
you.
It's
But I'm
twisted.
an asshole for talking about the beanie, though.
Would you
Okay.
agree that it's twisted?
Oh my god.
Is it gonna
I
go
woke
out?
up early for this shit. I logged on for this shit.
So
How
did
dare
I.
you?
Let's just say, except that you think it's a corny joke, but
Yeah.
in a world where that really happened, would you say it was twisted?
It's pretty twisted, right?
What is wrong with you guys?
we're equally as twisted, probably.
It's pretty
You
twisted.
gotta stop saying the word twisted, you losers. What the fuck? What is wrong with you? Go back to sleep. Do you hear my voice? Fall back to sleep immediately.
You do have that you just woke mom up voice a
I
little
do.
bit.
I
You also
do.
look like you got kidnapped. That's a terrible
What
background.
the fuck? I'm in a closet.
Yeah,
It's not
I
a
can
gay
tell.
joke. I'm just in a closet. The sound is better in here.
It looks a little bit like there should be a Saudi Arabian flag behind you.
Please, my people. I don't know what the accent is. Cancel me. Go ahead, bitch. Cancel me. Quarantine didn't take me down, so neither will your Twitter cancellation.
That's right. You're going to get canceled. Sean is getting tall canceled with a yerba mate right now. Big tall can of it. Is that the mint?
Yeah, what is that?
Pretty good. It's like, I don't know. It's got a little caffeine. I was looking for less caffeine than coffee because I just drink so much of something every day now. So
Hold on.
Are you
Someone's at
asleep
the door.
right now?
Keep talking. Keep podcasting, but someone's at my door. I'll be right back.
Sean, are you asleep right now?
I just got up. I mean, I didn't go to bed till like 8. So
What?
Marcella too.
they're tough, man.
Shut up.
These kids, they're little. You can't do
You
shit.
have one baby. Chill out.
I would love to. Trust me. If
What? You have more?
No, I'm taking back every word I ever said though about like, oh, what, you can't find time to take a shower, shit like that to people that had a kid.
Were you really judgmental of people who had babies before?
I thought it was easy.
Like that was your way?
Dude, I remember when people would be like,
I thought they were all making it up.
people would say like, I got paternity leave for 4 months, and I'm like, this motherfucker, 4 months.
Oh, so you're just getting the karma that you deserve.
Yeah, I've never got the karma that I deserve. I'm thrilled that if this is the karma that I get for what I've deserved, then please, I'm here for it.
Yeah,
But
babies are hard, man. What the hell did you expect?
I don't know. I was very naive about the whole thing. But
Yeah, it sounds like it. Looks like it too.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. Fully.
You didn't take that from this bitch in his closet? Don't let her talk to you like that. She just got kidnapped. You don't let her talk to you like that?
I am, but she scares me.
Bitch
She
is
always
taken.
has. I'm scared.
She had to send her topic ideas in with magazine letters cut out.
But you could read it. You
Yeah,
could read it.
that's-
So I'm not really sure what the issue is.
They're only feeding her orange juice and Slim Jim. You don't gotta take that from her. Oh,
Sean,
man.
how much sleep are you going on right now?
2 hours.
Damn, dude.
I'm gonna get more. It ain't. There's nothing. Oh, Queen's coming in.
2 hours and an enlightenment yerba mate.
Queen's in here snooping around.
There she is.
I don't think she wants to be on camera.
Yeah, what is wrong with you?
She's in here.
You shouldn't even want to be on camera.
Everybody said you look beautiful.
She does look
That's
beautiful.
why it's gonna work for you, bro.
We saw her rump, y'all.
What's up, everybody?
Oh, we saw.
Sean, do you have any shows coming up or anything you want to point people towards?
I don't think so. I mean, nothing that's not sold out. You know what I'm talking about? We're a big deal.
Add a babe. New episodes of Things That Are Dank that I'm stoked on the All Fantasy Everything Patreon, in addition to the first All Fantasy Everything Movie Club, where we watch Space Jam, so that's on there.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, get a cameo. Do that. I've been doing a bunch of cameos, so get a cameo from me.
Word up. David Borey is here, Cool Guy Jokes 87 on Instagram, the G is silent on Twitter. How are you doing, buddy?
I'm good, man. Yeah. Just went out to the mushroom farm yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
That was cool.
What kind of mushrooms?
Hanging in there. What do you? Come
Oh, those kind. You know what's dumb is I'm now more excited about like gourmet
A
mushrooms.
portobello.
Yeah, like a
Yeah.
port than I would be about like fucking.
on. Other than that, I'm chilling, man. I'm doing good.
Any shows coming up?
This comes out on the 22nd, right?
That's right.
So tonight, come get tickets to Faded with Maggie May at the Black Buzzard in Denver.
Oh yeah.
It might be sold out by then, so we'll be close. And if you can't get tickets to Maggie May tonight, get tickets August 19th. We have Will Miles and Julia Rossi
Oh,
coming
fun.
Amazing.
in. Yeah.
Wow, that'll
so
be
it's
dope.
gonna be good.
Beautiful, beautiful. Did you take mushrooms yesterday too? And speaking to the microphone clearly, when although they're not illegal, in
I've never
Colorado.
taken. They're decriminalized, but I've never taken mushrooms.
That's right, ever.
It's funny how
Never
many
done
knuckleheads
drugs.
hit me up and they're like, dude, shrooms are legal, bro. And I'm like, they're not legal.
They are like for you. You're gonna get away with like
Yeah.
if a cop catches you, they're gonna be like, "Go on, Mr. Skateboarder."
Because I'm a tall, straight white guy.
Yeah.
Maybe not in that beanie though.
No.
That beanie in
Yeah.
Gresham, I wouldn't do it.
Come on.
There it is.
Let it go.
I'm not gonna.
I go to the grocery store like this. What's up? What's up? My name's Joker.
This is so twisted.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
twisted. Yeah,
there we
you
go.
took the line
How
right
you
out of
feel
my
about
mouth.
yourself? How you feel about yourself?
You got it. You got it. You're hip to the game.
Marcella Aguayo on Twitter. Marcella Comedy on Twitter. Marcella Comedy on Instagram as well. New podcast, The Scroll Down. Tell the people about The Scroll Down a little bit.
It's a new podcast called The Scroll Down with me
Yeah.
and Nicole Thurman. I know you animals have been asking me to do a podcast, so here we are. We just like talk shit about social media for the week, like kind of catch up on social media. It's fun. It's cool. We got our when this comes out, it'll be our second episode, I believe, will be out. And it's cool. It's just fun because Nicole and I don't really know each other that well, but we kind of do, and it's just like we just like to talk shit. She's such a fun person to talk shit with.
Amazing.
So-
And you were
Oh, yeah.
you were a Hall of Fame shit talker, so this is like a perfect combination.
Great.
What do you like go over the things that happened that week, like on social media, and like kind of catch people up and dissect it and stuff like that?
Yeah, like there was this popular tweet. Maple Cocaine wrote it. He said, every week on Twitter there's a main character.
Yes.
Or every day on Twitter there's a main character, and the goal is to not be it. And so we have like a main character section, and we talk about whatever. We have like a women hating women section because like people. I mean, women are everybody's uncomfortable with the concept of like shitting on a woman who deserves to be shitted on. I mean, come on now, who wouldn't want to shit on me? Whoa, nobody answer that. Nobody answer that question. And so it's just cool because we're like openly talking shit about whatever. We have all these like fun segments, and it's just like because it's all. The other thing that bothers me is like on Twitter when there's like some unknown person just steals a joke that went viral like a month ago.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then and that happens every like few months or every few weeks you see. So we have a joke of the week section, and it's like us being like, that joke that we saw 2 years ago, it's back. Somebody else is tweeting about it.
This person's catching heat off of it. I hate when that happens.
So we're trying to like get these tweets out there so people can stop acting like they just are fresh and new. Like fucking retweet comedians, for God's sakes. Comedians write original shit all day, every day, and people still fall for the same viral tweets,
I see it. I don't even know what the people who like steal those tweets are like getting out of it. What do you get out of Twitter heat if there's nothing after that?
But imagine like if you like get one super viral tweet once in your life, like that high is so high.
True.
Like because we go viral every once in a while, right, or all the time or whatever, and they're like, oh, this feels good. But it's also our job to like come up with such an original thought that it would be popular,
Right.
I will also be at the Bell House in New York on July 31st.
One
if you guys
plug
wanna
only.
come.
One plug only.
In Chili Spot, he knew the pizza spot. I was like, Because, yeah, you're married. That's going to be me when we're married, David.
Yeah, I know. That's the problem. I've
Yeah.
seen you do it before. You have. This is like a repeat behavior with you.
She's not like this, officer.
Yeah, all of a sudden the cops are going to come and she's going to be like, he just told me to shut up. Like, it's not,
And then when they're taking you away, I have those fucking Michael Jackson Thriller eyes.
She's doing it.
Oh my God, that's
I'm glad
funny.
I brought it up.
No other shows. Watch the Late Late Show with James Corden. Listen to All Fantasy Everything. God, now we are gathered here today not only to make the Thriller eyes, but also the fantasy draft things that are funny when they happen to someone else, which is, I love this topic. This is wonderful. The Schadenfreude topic. And the way we determine the order of that draft is through a rollicking game of rock, paper, scissors, played between the three of you, and we throw on shoot. Here we go. Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. Marcella wins.
What?
Yeah, you throw scissors, the unique one. They both threw rock. Marcella, as the winner of rock, paper, scissors, it is incumbent upon you to determine the order of today's draft. But before you do that, I will remind you it is a serpentine draft.
and what is that?
That's a great question. Sleepy?
Yeah, it's like, look at how long my arm is, huh? You remember that? Remember that one?
arms, dude.
It's like if,
I don't know if you guys know what that looks like on a graphic.
I can do it. I'm allowed.
You can't. It's just like, oh, four dudes, white dudes doing that, huh? That's the...
oh, like the, no, I didn't know that. Alright, I didn't put that together. My fault. It's like putting, it's like when I put my garden hose away. Everyone can relate to
It's
how I
almost your
put
dick
my
right
garden
now?
I'm
hose
on my
away.
dick right now. What the fuck?
He's talking about his dick right now.
When I get my garden hose
10
out
a.m.
and piss, then I put my garden hose away. When I put mine away, I put like, there's like the thing that it hangs on, it goes to the left to the right, and then I have to fold it, and then I fold it back over from the right to the left, and I fold it back to the left
What do you
to the
want
right.
me to say right now, bro? The
What?
fuck?
I want you to say that this is how a serpentine draft works. And you know what you gotta do is, you gotta make sure your hose isn't twisted when you put it away.
You're
That's clutch.
I hate you so
It's
much
clutch.
right now.
You really gotta make sure it's not twisted, because it can get twisted, bro. So,
Right now I hate you as much as your child's gonna hate you when she's a teenager. Wait, do you have a boy or a girl?
girl,
Supposedly, give it a few years.
and I mean,
That's actually pretty progressive.
I know it is.
That's actually pretty progressive.
here's what I'll say. She was assigned female gender at birth. Is
There you go.
is what we're saying.
Okay, Portland.
Yeah.
Good day.
Anyway, it's like putting my garden hose away. If you guys don't know what that's like, then I guess get bent. You know.
There it is. Yeah, get a little fucking spice, dude. I like that. Come out swinging.
I bring it out of him.
You do.
You do.
There it is. It's classic Marcella.
Basically, what it means is you pick fourth in the first round, you pick first in the second round. Marcella, with that in mind, what will the order of today's draft be?
Okay.
Mhm.
I'm stressed out. Who do I pick? Who do I give the rose to? Sometimes you gotta think about it. You can't rush these things.
Give it to yourself.
Okay, we're gonna do Ian, Sean, David.
Ooh.
Me first.
Okay.
Ian, Sean, David after
All right,
that.
all right, all right.
Okay, hot corn.
I was going to say, I never get to go first.
Yeah, and you're never going to.
Well, that's fine. Because, giraffes finished first.
Uh-huh.
What?
Is that
What?
Jurassic Park lyric?
Jurassic 5.
Jurassic 5. Yeah. Jurassic 5. From Jurassic 5? I lost my virginity to Jurassic 5.
Did you really?
I
What
did.
song? What song?
That's hilarious.
It was, I
Was
don't...
that...
It was the first song off of... Wait, hold on. It might have... It wasn't
Pull it
Jurassic
up.
Finished first.
He has a playlist with his virginity
There's
songs.
that one that was like, don't.
It was like that, and then Petey Pablo.
Yeah.
No, take your shirt off.
Twisted around your head, spinning like a helicopter.
Do you remember when he did the USA version of that? When it goes, USA!
Oh,
with
I
your
hated
flags
that.
around your head? It was horrible. Like right around 9/11.
Good how you can, Petey Pablo.
It was quality control, so how we get along, because it was the first song off the first album.
Wait, you put the CD in and
That's
immediately
my
got
question.
fucked.
And then we had sex.
Wow. Efficient.
Was it in your room then?
No, it was at her room in her apartment.
Was it her CD or did you bring it look what I have?
I brought it with. I brought my CD wallet, probably up to her apartment, and I had Jurassic 5 quality control in it.
She knew what time it was.
Basically your resume. You
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Oh, you want to see if this is going to happen. You ever heard of Natasha Bedingfield?
She saw the CD jacket and she was like, oh, it's like that. And you're like, yeah, it's just like that.
Yeah.
This is what's going on today.
I think we'd been she liked Led Zeppelin a lot. I think we had been making out, and then it was my turn to put a CD in, and it was Jurassic 5.
Oh my god.
And I think she
Because
just
you knew how to close.
she just did whatever it took to get that Jurassic 5 off as fast as possible. She figured I would leave afterwards.
I will fuck you to not listen to any more backpack.
Oh my! She thought like the Ozzy Motley CD was going to come out next, and we had to beat that
my
to the
God.
punch. Oh God! I really was who you probably thought I was in 2003.
Sounds like it.
I was too.
2002.
I sure was too.
The order is Marcella, Ian, and then Sean, David, and we will get to Marcella's first pick in things that are funny when they happen to other people. Right after this break.
This episode of All Fantasy Everything is brought to you by Feels. Now, feels.com/this Valentine designed everything.
But that's it. But that's it. It's that and all fantasy everything.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I can do better Beyonce when my voice is like this. Thank you so much. It's me, Beyonce. You know, I love all fantasy everything. It's a blessing.
I think that's my
Now
favorite.
Sean, do RZA.
Yo, I think All Fantasy is a really good podcast. I love it. I think David Bowie is a super funny comedian. His dick.
That was better than the last time.
That was better than yesterday.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it was.
Yes, it
That's
was.
something.
I think your Beyonce is one of my favorite things in comedy myself.
fucking
Just
So
in general.
stupid.
I love it so much. It's stupid, but it's perfect. I love it so much. Marcel, you have the first pick, and things that are funny when they happen to other people. What will that first pick be?
Okay, I'm gonna say watching someone get barfed on.
Yeah, God, it's so funny.
Well, by a grown-up, right? Like by an adult?
I mean, I think it's funny either way. And a baby pukes is funny,
Uh-huh.
you know, like especially if, with Sean, he's a parent, so he's
Yeah.
it's like painful. It's like, oh, my baby's puking, but then
Yeah.
he's like, someone holds it for 5 minutes, and then that's when they puke, and you're just like, I mean, that's hilarious. Like, how do
Yeah.
you not laugh at that shit? But also, yes, of course, when a drunk friend and another drunk friend. I mean, the worst is when the other person is sober.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
man, you have a drunk friend, you know what I mean? And they drunk barf on the designated driver. But when the drunk friend barfs on the other drunk person, that is, I mean, chef's kiss what a moment. It's so funny.
There's no
So
version of this
Always
that's bad.
right in front of the bar.
Oh, yeah.
That they were gonna go in, like, let's keep going, and then they just barf all over someone's shoes, and you're like, bro.
I've been barfed on by Sean Jordan.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I puked on my. I don't know.
He puked walking to the bathroom.
We had gotten off the plane, and I think you had hot red wine on the plane. Is that what happened?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they gave me a warm box of red wine, and I knew
They
I was like,
gave
this
me.
ain't it.
He didn't ask for it. They gave me.
I was fine at the airport, and then we got to 6th Street, and I was thinking about, like, well, I gotta keep going, and then, yeah, I just, in stride, I was walking.
We were walking down 6th Street, and
I really didn't think anybody would notice, and then I did it, and Ian's like, dude, you hit my leg.
it was a splash up. It was a splash up, so I was good to go. But it was just enough that I thought it was funny.
Yeah. It was.
No, it was very funny. It was all red.
It was
Yeah.
funny. Yeah, it was gross.
There's no wrong way to watch someone get barfed on. Is the truth. It's
Yep.
funny no matter what. Old people barfing, babies barfing, anywhere in between.
I've realized when the babies are puking, they're not like bummed on puking yet, so they just have this normal face, and so like when Max will barf on me, and she'll barf and she'll just look at me like nothing happened. Whereas an adult, they're upset. They're like, oh god, that sucked. But the kid just like, that's dope that it's not in me anymore.
Never teach Maxine to be ashamed of barfing. I want her to be like 32 years
Yeah.
old at like her friend's birthday and just like drinking wine, like blah blah blah, and then
Yeah.
just like keep talking.
Oh my god, I did that before. I was walking when I lived in San Francisco. I fucking would get shit faced all the time at shows and stuff. And then at one morning, I had to walk to work, and I'm just like walking down the street. And this when I was assistant manager at the bank, so I had like my little pencil skirt. I had like a cute outfit. And then I was walking. I didn't barf on anybody, but I was walking. And I just went, oh, here it comes. And I just puked onto the street. And then just kept walking. Okay, that's fine. Like, there's fucking morning traffic. It was hilarious.
Little dabs at the corner of the mouth.
Oh, God. So disgusting.
There's something just extra whatever it is you're feeling, either fun or embarrassing about barfing when other people are awake at a natural hour.
Yeah.
When-
Especially when it's alcohol, like when it's food poisoning, you feel it's like terrible. It's a terrible
sucks.
feeling. But
Yeah.
when you're like, I deserve to do this and people should see this. This is disgusting. I'm disgusting.
You're an accomplice in it when it's alcohol. When it's food
Yes.
poisoning, it was done to you. But like,
Yes.
I just love like puking, and then there's someone jogging, and like somebody like a truck's dropping off newspapers. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Produce getting
That's
unloaded.
what it was.
Early morning, there's people looking at you like, you asshole. There was at Helium one time, this dude sitting in the crowd barfed in his, so it looked like he was gonna puke, and Nick went to go kick him out, but he hadn't puked yet. The guy's like, whatever, bro. And then he ended up puking on his friend next to him, and in the pint glass, like 3 pint glasses, and he had them all on the table, and Nick came over, he's like, you gotta go, man. And the guy's like, why? I puked in the glass and on my buddy. Like, none of it got on the
Oh my
floor.
God.
He seriously thought because it went on his friend and in the glasses that he
Organized
didn't.
puking.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah. I clearly still like have an order of
I have
things.
it together. I puked right
Yeah.
here. I
Yeah.
have it together.
I could have puked on your floor, and I didn't.
A good lawyer could have kept him in that room. I think.
Yeah, good lord. Yeah, you're right.
I haven't
You're
got
A
right
good
about
lawyer
that.
could have been like, look, he puked into the 3 glasses, which shows that he clearly is still cognizant of his abilities.
Yeah.
He poses no threat.
And he didn't want to miss one joke from John Heffron, so, why get out of there so quick?
You can't miss the hef.
I barfed the last time I was at your house. I tried to keep it down.
You did. Did you go? You were barfed in the bathroom though, right?
Yeah, but it
When
was
was
funny.
the last time you barfed and it was just happening? Like you couldn't get up, you couldn't go to the bathroom.
That hasn't happened for
My nephew did that just a couple days ago. Oh my God.
It's so funny when
it's-
kids do
when it just hits.
It's, oh my God, it was just all over his room, it was on his bed, on the floor. It was so, he's 17, so it was that thing.
Oh.
I was like, he's a big dude. He's like 6'4", 6'5",
Yeah.
and it was that thing because that's the thing about being tall. Like in your brain, you see a tall person, like they're older because they're taller.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
And in that moment, I fell to that because I was just like, was like, how did you not feel it coming? How did you not get up to go to the bathroom? And then I was just like, he's still a child.
He's a kid.
Like, you know, he doesn't know the signs.
You have to puke so many times where you can like. We puke so many times now. We're like when like somebody like kneels down and like puts the dirt between their fingers and they're like,
Yeah.
they were here 3 days ago. Like we're like that. We're like the spit gets all thin and like you feel like a tenseness in your like lower jaw and you're like, I'm gonna puke in the next half hour.
And you can be so polite about it, like that thing where you're like, I'll be right back. Like the whole time, you know, you immediately have to puke, but you're just like, I'll be right back. Run to the bathroom quick. Does anyone need anything on my way back? Like the whole time you're
That was me at the Sacramento Punchline. I mean, after the week of shows, I just got so all my homegirls came out, and so we were just taking shots and shots, and like I was taking shots like back to back, not like forgetting the last time. I was like, I haven't taken a shot in an hour, and literally I had taken one 5 minutes ago.
Oh, yeah.
I was that drunk.
Yeah.
I was puking, but I was like, I was staying in the double decker suite. Near the Punchline, and like my friends were hanging out in the like living room area, and I was just like, "Excuse me, I'm gonna go puke. Be right back." And I just went upstairs, puked, and then came back. Anyways, girls, what are we doing?
Dude, how dang are those sweet? I've stayed in those from doing the Punchline, and they're like little apartments. Like they
They're
have a
so
second
cute.
floor and everything. It's so sick.
They're awesome. Yeah.
No, that's awesome.
Yeah, it's rad.
I loved your Sacramento Kings like like merchandise game while you were up there. That was amazing.
Oh yeah, my Peja shirt. I love my Peja. You know what? I always had a crush on him, so I was like, why don't I get a Peja Stojakovic shirt? I always had a crush on him. That was the one year I watched basketball and was like got into it and learned all about it. 2002.
That's a
And
good
so, like,
year.
Well, that's what was funny was my brother is a Sacramento Kings fan. I was like, okay, I'll watch that. I'll be their fan. I don't care. And I learned everything about basketball. And then the next year, you know, people start getting traded, and I was just like, what the fuck is this? Now I'm rooting against this person that I just fell in love with. Are you kidding me? That's when I stopped watching. It took 1 year. That's all
The man you love is in Orlando all of a sudden. Yeah.
It's so weird. And people are just like rooting against like that. Because I watch basketball just like objectively, like, okay, 2 teams, and they just fucking did a great little move.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
Just fun to watch.
That's not how she watched basketball.
Yeah, I do.
No, it's not.
How do I watch basketball?
Horny.
Okay, well, that's part of it.
Like a horny creep.
I've always been jealous of people like people who want to fuck men because I feel like basketball would take on this other dimension where I'm like, oh man, and I get to play and I want to just fuck LaMarcus Aldridge.
It is true. You watch it with her, you're like, oh, there's a whole other thing going on.
Yeah.
There's another level of the game.
Remember that time you pointed out that dude's hair? And I was like, because it was like a goofy haircut or something. Like, you're like, man, his fucking hair looks so bad. And then I was just like, what? He was wearing a fucking
Yeah, it was
ninja
like a
thing.
receding hairline or something like that.
And I was
You were
like,
like, I don't even-
I hadn't even noticed. Because I wasn't looking in that area.
I didn't even know you could watch basketball for the dicks before I met
A
you.
lot of dicks. Oh my god. When they fall over, there's this picture of like Devin Booker when he's like laying on the court after hitting a shot and like you can just see the whole dick.
I'm gonna Google that right now. Thank you.
Well, didn't LeBron accidentally show us like 5-6 years ago? He like was adjusting his underwear and his whole dick showed in the
Oh,
camera
when you
angle.
can see LeBron's great
they're
dick in
having a
that picture.
LeBron, yeah.
Yeah, that was awesome. That was a good day for a lot of women.
It's
a good day
he's
for
so
me.
famous that I'm like I'll look at it. Yeah, show it to me.
Yeah, of course.
I want to see LeBron's penis, of course.
Interesting.
Let's
if
see.
nothing else.
Pop the hood up.
Yeah. I want to see Chris Paul's gross little dick. That's what I
Oh
want
my god, look at that dick on Devin Booker.
Right?
to see.
He's in the finals right now. Good
Yeah,
dick.
he sure is.
Sure, they're gonna win too. That's a buck.
Oh my god.
Time for my first pick. Watching someone get barfed on. I'm going to take a lot of mine are physical picks. I'm going to take one in honor of Marcella's new podcast. I'm going to be taking watching someone get canceled on Twitter.
It's
That's
pretty
a
fun.
good one.
It's pretty
Take
fucking
down.
That's a funny one.
People posting all the screenshots. You're like, oh.
And just someone getting like
You shouldn't have texted that. You should have put that on Lex.
I prefer when it's not like when it's something where someone doesn't get hurt directly.
Well, yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
yeah,
Like
yeah.
if someone like is like been raped or whatever, that's never funny. It's like oh, watch that person get taken. But when someone like made like bad jokes, especially there was somebody recently who like was like getting other people in trouble for old tweets. I forget their name. but they
I
were
know
like
exactly who you're talking about.
leading a
I
campaign.
remember that, and then they found theirs,
And
it
then
was
someone
like,
dug
dog,
up their old
how
tweet,
did
and
you
it was
think
like,
that this wasn't gonna happen?
I texted him. I said, I cannot. I said, well, I checked in because I always check in on the comments that are my friends that are quote unquote getting canceled. I'll call them and be like, "You okay? I still got your back." I always let them know, like, I'm not part of that crew. I'm not going to defend your stupid ass either, but I'm not part of that crew.
Yes.
But I texted him like, I was like, I almost texted you when I saw you try to cancel so and so because that shit. I was like, I can't believe you couldn't remember your old material. Like,
Right?
I was like, I watched you. You didn't just do that on Twitter. You did that on stage. Like, I watched you say slurs on stage, bro. Like, whatever, 10 years ago. I was like,
Probably
he was
also
like,
video of it.
and he straight up like was like, oh yeah, I definitely forgot. I just didn't. It didn't even cross my mind. I'm like, how do you forget that? It's just shocking to me. It was really funny though.
It's
That shit
so
was
funny.
So funny.
It's especially because now we've seen like
It was like the day after too with that,
Oh
right?
yeah, it was
It was like
in
so
2
quick.
days. It was two
It was
days.
like the quick turnaround was always so funny. Like,
we might even be talking about different people
Maybe.
in different instances. Who? Wait, can you say their name and then Marissa, will you bleep it out?
Well, the one I'm talking about is.
Yeah.
Oh, that's what I'm talking about too. Yeah.
But
Okay,
the
yeah.
other, the other person that happened to also bleep this out is.
Oh, did that happen to her?
So there was a comic who tweeted something terrible, and terrible is questionable, but like people started accusing her of some racist shit, and then she like wouldn't delete the tweet 'cause she was like, well, it's kind of funny, and it's also like one of my more popular tweets. Like you could tell she did not want to delete it, and people were calling her out on that too. And but I called her to be like, hey, are you okay? Because I was like, she's not okay. I know she's not okay.
Yeah.
And but it also I was like, this is kind of funny. And the thing that I don't like is watching other comedians participate in the takedown of other comedians. I don't like that.
Terrible. Because we should know better.
Yeah, and that's why it's weird because you're just like, dude, you not to say that like that your or people's interpretation of this tweet is incorrect or correct. I mean, that's up for debate, right? Comedy is subjective.
Of course.
But it was just that weird thing of like, nobody's material has been 100% on the right side of history. Like, it's
Absolutely not. Absolutely
if
not.
If it is, then you suck. Then you're like bad at
Exactly.
this job.
There's always a learning curve. I mean, and like
Sean used to say the N-word 10 times in his act.
yeah, but I was at home.
That was a big closer. That was his big closer.
I was at home, David.
If you go back to the first 150 episodes of this podcast, it's in there quite a bit.
I definitely used to say. I had jokes where I never said that, but I said the F word a few times in jokes, and it was in the Midwest, and people laughed, and it was stupid, and I hate that I did it, but it was just part of. I don't know. It was something I needed to know that I shouldn't do.
And that's just on stage. If you could mic the shit that I've said just like
Oh
to
my god.
Marcella in a car,
Oh God.
Oh man.
I'm never gonna run for fucking office.
I mean, mic up our car ride to Vegas. What are you talking about? I mean, and again, it's like it's just, yeah.
That's the bummer. You're right. When it is other comedians, and you're like, we should know better. We like,
Yeah.
because there
we
is so
like
much.
to say outlandish, nasty things.
Yeah.
I thought that was the fun.
There's so much bad faith happening on the internet, just in general, with like, where it's like none of. It's become like a game of checkers or chess, where like nobody's actually offended about things, but they're like, "Ooh, I caught you breaking this rule."
Yeah.
And then like they get caught breaking that rule, and it's just this like petty back and forth kind of thing. And you would hope that we could be like they clearly didn't execute a joke that they were trying to do, and that
Right.
is a bummer when people. But when you just watch, especially when you just watch it to happen to someone
Oh,
self-righteous
man.
on Twitter. I've been not canceled, but like I've pissed off the right in a way where like
Yeah. Haven't we all?
you certainly
We've been
have.
doxed a few times.
Oh, I've
Yeah.
been on Tucker Carlson with one of my tweets. I mean, they
Yeah.
put me on Tucker Carlson with a tweet, and it's just like hilarious because they're just like, "You guys are fucking losers.
They're
That
fucking
this
losers.
is what you're worried about? Are you kidding me? I'm a comedian."
You're going after a fucking comedian. You like the right who like accuses everyone of being like too sensitive. It's like
Yeah.
it is
It
hilarious.
is such a crazy thing when they do that because that's exactly what they say they don't like. It's just
Yeah.
Yeah, I got put on the InfoWars Summer Jam screen. And it was,
we were driving next to a car that had an InfoWars sticker on it one time in Glendale, and Ian flipped him off for like half a mile. Just like, I mean, leaning out the window, it was so tight. That was just.
But seriously though, he's got some good points.
yeah, it's interesting. It's a very interesting. Paul Joseph Watson.
You gotta hear him out, man. It's like The left doesn't want you to.
Davis, it's not worth it. The joke isn't
Bro,
worth
Alex
it.
Jones.
Your jokes aren't worth it. I made a
Beat
fake
the
bar.
shit out of you.
Eat that fig bar. I ate a bag of pistachios into the microphone yesterday, and not even as a bit, just on accident.
And sometimes into the microphone.
Just a fat boy just coming out of you still, huh?
Just can't. It's still in there, big
It's
time.
always gonna be in there.
Yeah.
I don't care
I love
what it's like. I love your body.
I love your body. Sean Jordan, speaking of bodies, it's time for your body, yaddy, 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 to make its first pick.
When people slip on ice, that shit is hilarious.
Yeah. Because it's prolonged usually.
Because it's just wacky arms and shit. And like seeing in the Midwest, it'd be like they're scraping their windshield and just whoop, whoop, and then they catch themselves for a second. And it's, dude, it doesn't get funnier. As long as they're okay. Again, like I don't want to see someone break their femur or crack their head.
Right.
But like if it's just a.
I mean, that could be funny too.
It can,
Yeah,
but
they're
like
young and vibrant.
I want you to be leaving the mall.
Kids falling down is hilarious.
Leaving the mall, you bought like, I don't know, you bought some breakable shit. Like, I don't know. Anyway, that might get another pics, but like you just bought some stuff, you slip on the ice, yard sale, shit's everywhere. You're in the parking lot. It's like that dirty snow.
I do love. Was it when like it takes a long time to fall on the ice sometimes?
Well, and sometimes you're so delicate because you just walk knowing that you're like, I'm probably gonna slip, but I'm going to walk. Like especially like I dare you to leave the bar at 2 a.m. and try to get to walk home if it's a few blocks in Sioux Falls like in December. That whole thing, because like half of the sidewalk is properly shoveled, half of it's not, but it's dark, you can't tell, so you just have to treat the whole thing like it's solid ice. And then you get a little too close to the sun and you're like, oh, I got it, and then banana peel, you're just right on your
There's been some hilarious street camera footage of people in the corner like this corner seems to get everybody, and they're just falling in the eye.
Yeah.
Right, the news is there, but they're not telling anyone. They're just like, all right, it's been a fucking tough year.
It'll happen. I've seen people standing still where they just turn to say something too quick and they'll fall, It's the best.
Oh man, the ice is so scary.
There's great news footage of this couple in Portland who are this rich couple who probably work at Wyden and Kennedy, and they're wearing this expensive jogging gear, and they're talking about the snowfall, and then they jog off. They're like, yeah, we're still working out even though it's icy.
Yeah.
And then they jog off and they eat shit so hard, and it's so fucking funny and satisfying. It's one of the best videos.
It's like that comic who tried to call somebody else out and then also got canceled immediately. Yeah. It's the same version.
It's the same. Yeah, it's just and then just fucking eating shit a few feet later. It's
when you're trying to be cool about it, but obviously you just want to laugh. Like you want to make sure they're not hurt. Then as soon as you find out whoever's not hurt, you're like, wow, that's the funniest shit I've ever seen.
I mean, the other funny thing about slipping on ice, it's like you think you hurt your leg, think you hurt your butt, but it's the that dance that you were like, I pulled my shoulder.
You injure the weirdest part of you. Because you do also when you're walking on ice, you're doing that weird walk where you're using your your loin muscles are tense. You know what I mean? Yeah. You're trying to cowboy walk so you don't.
Yeah, you're trying to control it with your crotch.
Yeah. Oh, that's so. The only thing you can, if you slip and fall and okay, you do your spot check, you don't have any bones poking out of your skin. That you have to start laughing immediately. It's the only way to save any face. You have to be laughing as hard as everyone else is laughing at you. Otherwise, you look like they're just going to laugh harder. All you can do is laugh at yourself.
It's tough to recover from if you do it in public or something, and you're like, it's all good. You're just looking at people like, it's all right, just keep walking. It's all.
You have to get up and you have to be laughing like Dean Martin at a celebrity roast. It's that level. You have to be doubled over, fucking bourbon laughing. Otherwise, people are gonna be worried about you, but laughing at you, not even behind your back. That's more of the Midwestern thing, I think, or maybe Colorado too. We didn't have enough ice in Portland for that to happen
all the time.
Yeah, dude, it was. I remember specifically it happened to my high school girlfriend on the way out of school, and I started laughing before checking if she was all right, and that was where I was like, okay, so lesson learned. You check before you start laughing,
yes,
and then because it was an issue for the rest of the day.
Just the rest of the day.
Just the rest of the day, man. She was all right. She was cheating on me the whole time, so it didn't really matter.
Obviously.
There's some ice in front of that dick. I slipped and...
Why is it obvious? God damn it.
I don't know. Because you're an idiot? I don't know what to tell you. That joke worked. What do you want an explanation for? Ugh, God, I hate this podcast.
Well, it loves you, and I'm happy that you're on.
Oh my
Don't give
God.
that to her.
Ew.
Don't do that
There
to
you
her.
go.
Oh,
No, that's your secret weapon, Sean. Keep going, dude.
I'll shut my computer right now.
I'm glad we're friends.
Oh
I love
my
it.
God. David, what's your pick?
Yeah, what is your pick, David?
Is it my turn?
It is. For your first and second picks, as it is a Serpentine draft.
First pick, things I think are funny when they happen to somebody else. When somebody gets a bad haircut.
Oh, that's such a good
I
one.
fucking
I didn't even think of
great
that.
one.
love that shit. It's so much fun.
Yes.
Because again, so low stakes. It'll be fine. It's gonna be fine.
It'll be fine.
It'll grow back, but like that first day, like have you ever had it when somebody gets a bad haircut and like they don't want to come around?
Oh, yeah.
Like, my friend Armand got a rainbow fade once, like they pushed his shit all the way back and it was like up like this. And he didn't want to come hang out. And he wouldn't say why. And then he came, and as soon as he walked to the backyard, everybody's like,
What's a rainbow fade? What did they do?
it's like when they push your hairline back and they make it like a rainbow. Like instead of like a flat, like your hairline being flat, it's when they make it, it's like a
But
rainbow.
they pushed it way far back on his forehead?
Yeah, and like some people have, that's just how their hairline is. But he was like young with a good hairline. They just pushed his shit back.
Oh,
Man,
no.
that's so funny.
It's like it's always the best because it's like, and you can tell they're so insecure about it.
Yeah.
And it's never as bad as they think it is.
No.
It's just so fun.
That a buddy of mine, his mom was buzzing his hair and accidentally screwed up and shaved a part of it bald. So he just had to shave his head. And his dad, so he told me. I clowned on him. We were all at the skate shop, and then his dad called me, and he goes, "Sean, I thought you were better than this." And I was like, "Dude,
Oh, no.
I was like, he's it's hilarious." And I'm
You're
not.
like, no, I'm not.
Yeah, I won't be
No,
back
I'm
into this
not
order.
Yeah, this is hilarious.
Don, I thought you were better than this. You don't think this is funny? You can't laugh at your own son?
He did. He told me years later he thought it was hilarious, but he's like, I had to do something. He was freaking out at home.
Oh, you're just being a good dad.
Yeah.
So sweet.
I bust my own head every fucking... Like, in high school,
Oh yeah, we
I
used
did
to
this
do it
to
all the
myself. I would grow my hair out super long and Jew-fro it, and then I would buzz it, and I would just repeat that process
Yeah.
for the entire course of my high school experience.
Yeah.
I did
Yeah.
that until somebody told me that it was a grown-up shouldn't have a buzzed head, and I was like, well, damn it, and then I stopped
Who
doing
told
it.
you that? That's weird.
Someone told
Yeah.
me that they were like, it just looks stupid. You should get haircuts, and I was like, Jesus, they got in my kitchen, so now I get haircuts.
Wow.
I would still buzz it.
Yeah,
It's so
fuck
easy.
that guy.
It's so easy to have.
Maybe it was that girlfriend that was cheating on him.
Probably. That's not someone's place to tell you, but I'm kind of glad
No.
they did, because you do have good hair. You have like very swoopy good hair, and you shouldn't be having buzz. You should, use your assets.
It's just easy to have your head buzz, but yeah, no, it's fun getting haircuts. But anyway, yeah.
It's fun getting haircuts.
I remember once I did it to myself. There was like a place in my neighborhood that was doing like $11 haircuts, and this was when like everywhere else was like 25 to 30. Like you would go to like a Bishop's or like whatever that place. Where they give you a beer and like it's hipstery. And I kept going there, and I was like, wait, this place is 11. And I went there, and it was like they would cut your hair in the back of a mini mart, and it was exactly that haircut. Where I was like, oh, this is an $11 haircut. I look fucking terrible, like weird hard angles.
Yeah.
It like was a fade, but it was like a boxy fade, but like on a white guy. But it wouldn't have looked good on a black guy. Like it was just a terrible. And then you just have to fucking deal with it.
Did you look like Sean King? What do you?
It was like almost like a juice box or like a high top, but on a guy, but on a white guy, like where it like had a shape. It had like a square shape to it.
Does your hair have the structural integrity to handle that? Like your hair would stand up?
Enough, because my hair like at the time was like thicker and had like a little more volume to it, so it was like, but it just looked terrible. It looked
awesome.
really bad.
Oh yeah, I went to a Fantastic Sam's once.
What's that?
Oh yeah, dude. Those are like $6 haircuts back in the
Terrible
day.
idea.
That, rain clips,
Like
Fantastic
a local
Sam's.
Supercuts?
Yeah, Supercuts, same
like
shit.
a chain. And I went in there, and there were only white ladies in there, and I was
Ooh,
like,
that's
what?
a red flag immediately.
Yeah, and I still sat down and got it, and it was like,
That's where you can't really tell them what you want. You have to point out a picture in the book. They like if you try to
No,
describe to them.
you gotta ask them what are you good at?
Yeah,
That's
what
what
are
you
you
gotta
gonna
ask. What can
What
you
was she
do?
gonna answer? She does blowouts. What am I even doing in here?
So
I'm 17. Like, I want a permanent.
Should've
like,
got a
what the fuck am I-
blowout.
Yeah, dude.
Well, look good.
Yeah, calmed it out, man. Get a little volume in there.
Yeah, get your toes tingling.
But yeah, that's my first one. And my second one is, oh man, I don't drive that much, so this hasn't happened to me this much, but it's happened a couple times. I love it seeing somebody get a parking ticket.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, dude.
That's not nice, David.
It's so funny.
That is one of the
Especially
most-
if it's just as the guys in San Francisco, you would see that so much where it was just as the meter maid was driving off, and then someone would like be freaking out, yelling at the meter maid. Oh, it was so funny to me.
My enjoyment of this is
Yeah.
directly tied to how expensive the car is.
Oh,
That's
I
a
get
good
that.
one.
I get that.
Uh-huh.
If I see some beater catch a parking ticket, and I'm like, oh, that $125 is going to be a big part of their month. Like, it's less funny to me. But if I see a fucking like an Audi or like a white BMW or like a big new truck get a parking ticket, it makes me very happy.
That's
I mean,
Yeah.
you said Beamer, right? I thought you said Beaner. I was like, did he just, did he say he likes when Mexicans get a parking ticket? I got very confused in that moment. It took me a second.
I can't
register.
comment on that,
Okay.
but you know, if they're really rich.
Those rich ass beaners. I hate a rich beaner. That's the problem with America. The beaners get rich.
Your lips to God's ears, sister.
This is close enough to your pick that I'm going to bring it up now because I think just like tickets in general, one of the fucking best I saw this happen recently where someone was driving like a prick and then I saw him get pulled over. And that
It's
is
the most fun thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's so rare. Don't you feel
it's
it's
so
rare?
rare. It's so
Yeah.
rare. It's so often.
I don't
you
have
just-
it in me to laugh at that because I'm just so excited and happy that it happened. I don't think it goes beyond funny where I'm just like tight. And then it makes other like my struggles. I'm like, whatever. I'm fine. I'm doing all right. I'm
Makes it brightens up your day. Brightens and lightens up your
fuck
day.
them. Fuck them.
That's
they're,
funny.
They're over there
It
getting.
is such an attitude adjuster for me. If I see
Yeah.
that happen where someone's like swerving in through lanes and then you see him pulled over, I'm very pro cop in those
The
moments.
roller coaster that I go through because I don't get hot a lot, but that'll do. I mean, the shit that I get so mad about it, like so mad, like punch my steering wheel mad, and then if they're pulled over, I'm just like, you lunatic, what are you doing? You're not a punch your steering wheel person. Calm the fuck down.
I think you could take the gnarliest Antifa, like black hoodie, balaclava in Portland, throwing like a Molotov cocktail at a statue of an elk that they're mad at for some reason, and show them that scenario, and they'd be like, cops aren't so bad, you know.
All right, fun.
Fucking asshole, right?
You know, they're fucking... Yeah, I mean, all cops are bastards, but this guy seems okay. Like,
Yeah,
this
that's
guy,
fine.
you know.
This is why they're here.
Yeah. I mean, we
I
live
mean,
in a
that's the
society.
other reality. If cops actually did their jobs, we wouldn't hate them. You know what I mean? The
Right.
reality
Yeah.
is they don't do their job, so that's
Right.
why we hate them.
They would have 100% approval rating if they just pulled over maniac prick drivers who cut you off. People would
Yeah.
just be like celebrating them, and they'd be like, "Yeah, there's a couple bad apples, but."
Right. And that's the thing is that they don't do that. They don't target people specifically, and you're like, he doesn't deserve a ticket, you asshole.
Yeah, it's not bad. They're like cops aren't. It's not a bad apple thing. Cops are like dollar store blackberries, where it's like one of them is good, and then like the rest of them, you can still taste the insecticide.
Mm-hmm. This
Fucking-
one too.
Give me my Peabody Award right now.
Dollar store blackberries. Are you talking about Dominicans?
Ian's saying some wild shit today.
Dude, you're an idiot. Speaking of Dominicans, July 31st, I'll be at the Bell House in New York City. Go check it out. Check it out.
Seeing someone get a parking ticket. Sean Jordan, time for your second pick.
Step in and poop.
Oh!
Yeah,
Good
that's a
pick.
good one. That
Yeah.
is always fun.
That
You know.
is funny.
Whenever
Oh,
someone,
man.
and especially when it's like pretty all right shoes,
I
Or
was gonna
like,
say when someone just like so proud of their fucking shoes. Oh man, so many dudes. It's so funny. This is a woman who doesn't give a shit about sneakers. It's so funny when a dude with brand new sneakers or very clean sneakers steps and shit. Oh
And
my
then
god!
when they get mad
you know
about
he's
it-
gonna sit there with the Q-tip going through the fucking little crevices, and oh my god, that shit is so funny.
Q-tip first, then the toothbrush.
when people
yeah.
get mad about it, like they'll step in it and they're like, what the fuck? And you're like, it's a dog shit on the ground, man.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm sorry.
Or
It
it's
happens.
human shit, which is funnier.
Oh, human shit's
shout out to
great.
San Francisco. Ugh.
That's exactly what I was just thinking, man. Shout out to 6th Street, that fucking bus stop, dog. Always human shit over there.
San Francisco's a big human shit city.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah.
It's got to be the top human shit city in America, at least.
It's the only city where I've seen a human shit on the street.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, I've seen them do it.
I've seen that in LA, but I've also seen it in San Francisco, and I've spent almost no time in San Francisco.
Exactly.
I mean, I've seen it in Sioux Falls on a college campus, so
It was you?
Was it you?
it was a close personal friend. And I wouldn't let him get out of my eyesight because I was like, no, I'm gonna watch.
Oh my god.
It's like I gotta see it. Yeah, man. And the more upset somebody gets, the more they try to get it off. Like the more it ruins whatever's happening. I'm just like, it'll come off. It's fine. It's all right. Like there's Eddie. What's Eddie think about it?
Just a little kitten appearance. Speaking of shitting in public, Eddie, you shit in public all the time. No?
Is that a kitten?
It's my
Yeah.
kitten.
Wow.
Yeah. Little Eddie.
She's very
Yeah, man.
social.
Stepping in any kind of poop, human poop.
Oh
Yeah,
my god,
preferably.
So funny.
It's always good.
Or
That's another
annoying-
one
when
where-
annoying like a beautiful woman in a nice shoe. That's also funny. Oh my god! 'Cause she doesn't
Yeah.
even want to clean it. She's like
Yeah.
gonna throw away the shoe.
She'll throw the shoe at the beginning of the night, too. Even
Oh.
funnier at the beginning of the night.
And then it just stays with her the whole night, and she's
She just
walking around
kinda
the floor
smells
just
like shit.
"Ugh."
She walks into the Ivy and someone's like, smells like poop in here. And she's like, ugh.
She won it. She's too embarrassed. Oh man, that shit is so funny.
She steps in poop, and then she takes her shoe off and looks at the bottom of the shoe, and it's the fucking Joker's face.
Yeah,
That'd
it's
be
twisted, man.
Oh my god. How much longer?
About an hour.
Fucking sick. Twisted.
It is
Time for
twisted.
my second pick. All right, let me see here. Oh, a very drunk street fight.
Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
had that in here.
Where nobody has a chance of like landing an actual jaw-breaking
Yeah,
punch.
it's just like, they do that, like, shuffle in front of each other thing. Like, oh,
Yeah.
man, that shit
Yeah.
is the best.
It's
and
the
like
best when
the-
they start crying before they fight.
I'm in Denver right now, so it hits close to home so often. It's just like a Mexican dude with no shirt on, like just like very aggressive, but also crying.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The amount of dudes that are just like, fuck you, they're crying, bawling.
Because that's the thing you forget about when you're all drunk. You get emotional. I don't know
You get
about you guys, but
emotional.
Yeah,
you
every
do.
time I've ever been in a fight, like when I was a kid, I used to cry after fights.
Yeah.
Like, I was one of those kids. Even if I won, you just took something. You know what I mean? So like, oh yeah, I love a drunk street fight.
It's emotionally intense, like the wide punches. Those
Someone's
punches
throwing
that
a
are like
haymaker
coming
and
from
they-
out here, just like wide, like taking the fucking scenic route.
Like,
Yeah.
in their mind, they're like, well, this obviously this punch is gonna land, so I
Well,
should
they're
put
George
every.
Foreman in their head. Yeah.
But then they go like tripping into a Hummer or something.
Yeah.
That's like 30 feet away.
I remember
Boy,
a
I've
dude
seen a lot of
like
these.
this super drunk dude tried to fight me outside of a Blazer game, and like he swung 3 times and missed 3 times, and the last one he corkscrewed himself into the ground because he took such a big cut that the momentum of it, like he did a pirouette and then fell over.
Yeah,
In there.
like he's Daffy Duck
It
or
was
something.
so funny. Yeah, whoa, 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 and then he was on the ground.
It is the best.
It's just so fun. Also, like, I love like the Portland version of it was definitely like white drunk bros in Chinatown in like different monochrome shiny shirts, like with their different crews of guys who look kind of the same. It was like watching the DC universe fight the Marvel universe, where they're like, oh, they're all just slightly different versions of each other, and just like the stupid fucking things they'd be like yelling at each other about. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
when
I
you
love
like
a
kind
yell.
of pick up on like you get like a quarter of the story from the shit they're yelling at each other. the one dude who's like, just, it's not worth it. It's not worth it. And then the one guy like, who's like, you fucking know. He fucking knows, dude. You fucking know. You don't, I'm not the guy you do that to. It's always the guy you don't do that to.
I'll fight for my brother.
Yeah, I'll fight for my brother. I'll fight for my brother. Like, just like fucking gladiator shit.
Oh, man, yeah.
Did you guys see that clip? It was somewhere, I don't know, somewhere in Europe, where like those guys came out to fight. And first it was like the restaurant employees came out to fight these patrons. I don't know what the issue was.
No.
Like one of the
That's
servers,
already lit.
but one of the servers was like trying to do like these high kicks, these like spin kicks, and he missed this little short guy. It was so funny. And it was just like, it's just wild watching like multiple servers try to bum rush these dudes. It was a wild. Did you guys not see that video?
I didn't see that video. I'm gonna be looking it up after this.
It's funny because my algorithms have been giving me like tons of fight videos. They know what I want to see. Like they know what I think is funny to watch.
That's what you're looking.
It's I don't know what Facebook is doing, but every time I go into Facebook, it's just like fights in traffic, street fights. I'm like, wow, I'm gonna watch it. It's pretty fun.
That's what the internet was for me for like 4 years.
Yeah, it was all different, just different kinds of people fighting.
Yeah.
It's just so, like, even I've seen quite a few in life, and it still is a feeling of like, man, this is crazy. Because we're animals when we're fighting. It's like getting closer to being an animal, and it's just so wild to see people being like, man, you really want to hurt that person for nothing. I don't know. It's always fascinating to me to watch. Scary to me.
Damn, are you gonna start crying right now?
I cry a lot. I do cry a lot. Won't be right now. I did the one time I got like super beat up. I cried. This kid uppercutted me and gave me a pretty black eye, and I started crying. And I was like, we're done. I still hold my fists out.
Oh, that hurts because I've seen that happen.
Yeah.
Dude.
Yeah.
I imagine I was like at a skate park.
Did I ever tell you? So that happened, and then my mom showed up. She was like, because my friend went and told my mom that I was in a fight. So I ran over to the car and I was like, you need to leave. And she's like, wait, what's going on? I was like, fight's done. I lost. You need to get out of here if I'm going to show up at school tomorrow. I can't drive away in my mom's car. And she left. To her credit, she left. And I went back and I talked to the whole crew of kids, and it was,
That's adorable.
whatever. We're all good now.
You and your mom?
We're done.
I had my fists all clenched
You're
up.
done.
I just love that you could take an ass whooping, but not your mom driving you home. It's so cute.
It's like
adorable.
another ass kicking
I
because
know,
then
the
I have to
course
go to
is
That's
school.
worse. That's worse.
It's the ass kicking of your soul and your spirit.
Yeah, because then the
Exactly.
shit, at least at school the next day, everyone was like, I had a huge black eye, and they were like, I heard about it, or whatever, I heard you took it. And
Well,
I was
because
like,
that's the thing. Like the fight, you have to at least do the fight. Like you know, if you're gonna talk shit, you gotta take the punch.
this is back when I still thought I was a Crip, so there was a lot of like, I
Oh
heard
my
you took it like a
God.
G,
That's
that
a
kind of
really
stuff.
hard L.
I had to. There's no not. There's no getting in
Took
the
it like
whip
a
with
G
mom.
though.
Yeah.
He hit me, but I did not fall down.
A lot of other 7th graders said that exact thing. They were like, heard you took it like a G, and I was like, I did.
Yeah, I got punched and then I walked home.
Yeah, dude. I had my Sean Kemp shorts. I did. You forget things like this. One of the kids from Starfucker was there. We've talked about this before. It's just funny. Anyway.
Amazing. Marcella, time for your second and third pick.
Okay. My second pick, when somebody clogs the toilet.
That is
Always funny when somebody comes out of the bathroom, they're panicked, sweating, maybe a little tear right away.
Oh, that moment when you're like, you look under the sink and you're like, please, 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 and it's not there. And then you're like,
the checklist you go through in your mind where you're like,
Yep.
if I have to, can I get in there with my hand and pull the poop out? Like, can I
I
do
No.
it?
don't ever get to that point.
I do. I've never done it, but I've
Have
thought.
you done it?
No, I've thought.
He's
Like,
saying
I-
that's thoughts
Yeah.
in his
Oh,
head
okay.
because if there's nothing else, you're like, well, how do I, make this work? Especially,
I've had things where I'm like, well, I guess I'm just gonna storm out of here and leave, or like create a scene where it's like I'm gonna go do something else.
Sucks.
Like I'm gonna go
You
break a
come out
glass.
and you're like, who just shit in the toilet?
that's when he starts using slurs as a distraction.
I've been in there for a half hour trying to figure out who clogged this toilet.
I just saw a bunch of dollar store blackberries outside.
And then
They're always using the toilet.
I fucked up the whole bathroom because I was so mad about it. Now there's shit everywhere. Who's to say who did? Who's to say who did what?
Oh my god, when we were kids, wait, have I told this story on here? My brother's friends took forever in the bathroom, and we were, and my. Long story short, he comes out of the bathroom, it's shit everywhere on the walls.
So fun.
Literally on the sink, the shit is everywhere. And I think he panicked because he didn't know how to unclog the toilet. And I think he tried to dig it out and was like, oh god! Oh god!
It's only gonna get worse. If there's no plunger, there's nothing you can do about it.
You have to go get a plunger.
What do you think he told himself as he was walking out? Like, what?
My mom is so sweet. She's like the sweetest woman. She'll like happily clean people's messes. And this was the one time she was like, you need to call your mom and she needs to come over here and clean this.
Then you gotta call your mom and be like, I shouldn't in the Arqueos bathroom. You gotta come get me. It's everywhere. Marcella's laughing. He's like crying.
It hurt so bad coming out, and then it plugged in.
He was real upset. It was so funny. He was not allowed over, but he never wanted to come back. So
You can't come back after.
oh
What's he
my
gonna
god,
come
I
back?
forgot about that. That was so funny. Woo.
Oh boy, that's funny. Oh man. Oh
I've
fuck.
definitely left the toilet hanging before, where it's like,
You've
I'll
left
make
the
sure
clock
no one's
out in
outside.
the wild.
Really?
Yeah. I have, if there's no one in line or whatever, I've done it, and I don't
I
like
can't
that I've
shit
done
in
it.
public, so it's hard. That's hard for me.
I would leave a Starbucks toilet clogged or whatever, unless I can find the plunger, and then I will take care of it.
I've had enough emergencies to where the pooping in public ship has sailed. That I definitely.
I'm fully comfortable pooping in public, especially
I
if I'm
don't
going to
care
be
either.
out a while. I'm like, let me clear this off the to-do list.
Yeah.
No, my poop gets scared.
I had to go to a hotel. We were in a hotel, my buddy John and I, one time, and I plugged the toilet, and I called down to I called down to the front desk like 3 times, and they did not bring a plunger up, and I was like, shit. So now I had to go down and ask the girl who I kind of had a rapport with when we checked in, and I leaned in, and she's like, hi, what's up? And I was like, I gotta get that plunger.
Somebody broke into my room, shit in my toilet.
They're up there subdued, but I need to clear the toilet.
Do you ever give it that second
That second flush. Yeah.
But it's risky because you're like, that's when it can like run over. And
Yeah.
you have to give it that ginger second where you're just like, you're like Indiana Jones taking the statue and
swap
replacing it
out.
with a bag of sand level of care in the second flush. Oof, but sometimes it works. Somebody
Yeah.
clogging the toilet. And Marcella, your third pick?
My third pick is when you say hi to the wrong person.
Dude.
Man,
Man.
that happens to me at almost every comedy festival. I say hi to someone that
I
I
believe that. I believe that's a fact.
Yeah.
Now, are you saying you call someone the wrong name, or is it like you receive a wave that was
No,
meant
like
for someone else?
you do the wave. You do the wave. You think.
Yes.
I mean, it's right there in that same of like, hey, I one time thought this black woman, was someone I knew. Like, I saw her from the back, and I went up to her. I grabbed her shoulders, did like a hey, and I did that, and I turned around, and it wasn't her. Like, not turn around, I get in front of her. And I'm like, hey, girl, and I'm like, oh fuck, that was the worst. Because I was like, I touched this woman. I don't even like being touched. I was like, why the fuck did I touch this person? And I thought it was the worst.
I did that at a bar one time. I did it Dirty Tricks. I thought it was my friend, and it was not. And I put my arms around her. I will never do that again.
I know.
Her
Oh my God.
Her friend was like, "Do you know her?" And I was like, I thought I was going to jail, bro. I was like, that's done.
Yeah, that shit
It's a
doesn't
wrap.
feel good.
It's a wrap for me.
Oh my God! One time, I was walking up. You know Teresa Lee, comedian.
Yeah,
She's
yeah,
very
yeah.
funny. So she had me do her podcast, and I was walking up to the building, and as soon as I'm walking up to the building, I see her. So I start like waving, like raising my hand to be like, "Hey, girl!" I'm like right here, and I realize she's not seeing me with that same recognition, in her eyes that I'm seeing her, because like she knows me. I know she knows me. So if she saw me, she would like light up. And I'm like starting to get up there with my hello, and I realized it's not her. And I was like, do I think all Asian people look alike? I was like, am I racist? What is wrong with me? And then a beat happens, and the girl looks up, and she's just like, oh, are you Marcella? I'm Teresa's twin sister.
Oh!
It was crazy. racist. Okay, good.
That's
I was
hilarious.
so freaked out.
That's so funny.
That's insane.
Because you were like, she looks exactly like
She looks
Teresa to me.
exactly like her, yeah. And then
So I'm really racist.
I'm really, yeah. I was like, oh my god. I know I got a history, but Jesus Christ, I was like, I'm gonna pass it.
Oh fuck, that's funny.
That was wild. That was a wild one.
Oh man, that's happened to me so often. I remember it specifically outside of Powell's bookstore. Once I caught it really, really bad. And then, like, the people looked at me like I was a piece of shit for assuming that they knew me, too. They were just like, no, not you. And I was like, oh, sorry. Like, why would I fucking wave to you, you fucking slob? Like,
You ugly piece of shit.
I would never know you. If I knew you,
my
I'd
God.
kill myself, you piece
That's
of
happened
garbage.
to me. I can't think of specifics, but I know it's happened in Portland a couple times where, like, an asshole, I thought people recognized me from, like, stand-up or whatever.
Yeah.
And it wasn't even, like, kind of like that, where they'd be like, oh, what's up? And they're just talking to the person behind me. I was like, oh, what up, man? I'm Sean. What's your name? And they're like, what?
Yeah.
Like, oh, sorry. Do you want some drinks? Or what can I do?
It's a bad
And then
feeling,
you're
that
like,
one.
who the fuck do you think you are? Thinking these people are going to know who. It's just, it's a bad feeling.
Oh, it's very funny to see happen to someone else, though.
It
If
is
I
fun.
watched you do that, I would laugh my ass off.
Yeah.
It's always great. It's always great.
I would very much enjoy that. Saying hi to the wrong person. Time for my third pick. And, all right, let me see here. Oh, watching someone care too much about sports is very funny to me.
Oh my god.
When it's not, because I
That's
am
my
that person
favorite.
sometimes. I've definitely been that person, usually at home alone or surrounded by other Blazer fans. But like when you're out in the world and you're watching someone just care too, there's funny videos of it too.
It's
Usually it's
so
about football.
funny.
People
is the
crying
most-
and stuff.
crying.
You remember when the Undertaker got beat?
Yeah,
At WrestleMania?
yeah.
And just all those dudes' faces? Oh, man.
Just taking it so fucking hard.
It's so funny.
Like people on the verge of crying, angry because like the fucking Tennessee Titans missed a field goal or like whatever, or like a Raider fan was pissed about something. Watching someone in Raider makeup be really upset is very funny too. I've
That's
seen
the
that.
thing. Where it's someone so hard looking and you're like, oh, you're devastated.
So funny.
It's
Yeah,
and
that
it's,
is
but
great.
it's also funny, just like I said earlier, about like how I watched basketball that one year and I like learned so much about it, and then it's like I don't understand how you guys are invested. Like that's like what I always find funny when I'm watching like basketball or any sport with other with men, is like they know so much history, they know all the trades, they know everything. And I'm just like, this is so weird that you're still so passionate about this. It's so funny to me.
It's not even that crazy. We just don't talk to our dads.
I know, but that's what's so great about it. It's like the energy that was put into this. I'm like, you guys need to work on yourselves. So this just cracks me up. It's also funny, like getting dudes worked up when I'm watching sports, because it's as simple as saying the opposite thing. That they're like, man, usually he could fucking make that, and I'm like, no, he can't. He's never been able to make it. And they
Oh
fucking
my
go
God.
off.
I
So
hate it when you do that. I've seen you do that. It is so irritating because you know she's doing it on purpose, and it's just like, but you
But
still
that's-
get caught up
But
in
you
it.
get caught up because you're so concentrated on the game that you don't even realize I'm in real life trolling.
It's
It's
like,
so
it
funny.
is so, yeah, just like, and then you find yourself, because you don't give a fuck about details about sports, and I'm like, actually fucking he's great from the free throw line. So, you know what I mean? And she's just like, not what? What? Like, doesn't even remember she said that shit. Oh,
so
yeah,
funny.
that shit is hard. That shit is hard to deal with.
it's the best. I
It's
just
the
I
best when
just
it's not
fucking
you, though.
when it's not you. When I see some like dude wearing a Kobe jersey whose face is like red with anger, like at a bar, like storming out, and you're just like, because I've been that guy too, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, this is so funny. This is what I look like. This is hilarious.
Oh man,
I
because
thought
you got
this
the
was
alcohol
great.
too, and he goes back to that like the emotional fighting. Like it's the same. Oh my god, it's all in that world, and it's so funny. Dudes are
All
so
comes from the
ridiculous.
same place.
We
All
pour
comes from the same
so much
place.
of our own self worth into it. It's ridiculous. Where like,
Mhm.
where I'm like, if the Blazers don't beat the Denver Nuggets, I'm a piece of shit.
Oh, dog.
I lost.
I'm a
Broncos-
piece of shit.
The Broncos using it, like if they lost on Sunday, it'd fuck up my week till Wednesday.
Right?
Like
Yeah.
before I had comedy or anything. Oh man,
That's so
it's
funny.
like
It's also just like funny to be around that as someone who doesn't give a two fucks about any of it. Like just being like, I thought we were just out having drinks and eating bar food, and now you guys, your whole emotional state has changed, and now I want to leave.
It's so there's like I need to be
So
alone and
embarrassing.
quiet for 10 minutes sometimes after a loss.
Oh yeah, there's like the game loses. If you lose the game, then you're just not gonna talk to that girl again.
How could that happen to me? How could that happen to me?
And they won't, like, you try to change the subject. You try to change the subject, they won't let it go. They won't let it go. You won't let it go. It's so funny.
They fucking fouled him. They fucking fouled him. Ugh, whatever. They fucking fouled him on that last shot.
Maybe DC had some fucking real refs.
And then, like, I'm just sitting there going, I don't know, I think it was the right call. Just being a fucking bitch.
It's hard being a ref, so.
Oh, man.
Oh, it's so fun. Sean, tell me your third pick. Oh, no, go ahead. What do you say?
No,
What's
I was
that
going to say, for all the women listening, I strongly recommend trying that. It's really funny. It's really easy. You just need to know a couple of sports buzzwords, and you can really send men off a fucking ledge, and it's the best
Yeah, no,
feeling.
it really works. That shit's active.
It also is, you can do it the opposite way, ladies. If you want to flirt with a guy, you can pretend you know things by vaguely agreeing with what he's saying, you know? Oh, yeah, he's always, you know, throwing threes at the line. I know, he's so good, huh? Yeah, he is. And they get all excited that you're into it. They're like, you watch it? Yeah, whatever, yeah.
You're talking about it a lot. I just don't get enough credit.
So funny. So good. Okay, that's all I wanted to say.
Sean, time for your next pick.
I think it's funny when someone gets too high.
Oh.
Like, I know they're going to be fine, and it's just funny to watch people try to navigate that. Myself, a lot of that. Like, it's outside looking in, or like the next day where I'm just like, man, that had to have been hilarious for everybody who was there watching you be like, no, we need the lights off. For sure we need the lights off. Like, why? And I'm like, we just need them off, man. Just, I'm freaking out. Just shut the lights off.
Just
I did that to Zach and Bree. We were all chilling at the crib one night, and I smoked like a tiny little hit, and I was just 30 seconds later I was like, all right, everyone, you guys should probably get out of here, huh? And it was like 9 o'clock at night.
Really?
And they were sitting there. They didn't leave, and I just went and shut the lights off in the house. I shut the house lights off. I was just sitting on the couch, and they're like, what are you doing? I was like, you guys probably gotta go, huh? Isn't it like time to go? It's funny watching people navigate that shit. Or like
I'm a lights on when I'm too high person. The lights gotta be on. I'm like, lights gotta be on. I gotta be able to see everything around me.
Yeah, it makes it feel less scary.
Yeah.
It's just such a wild thing that can happen because you know you're gonna, like, I've seen enough people do it, and I'm like, I know you're gonna be fine. I know you're all right. It's different. Like, you can't get poisoning. You can't get weed poisoning.
Right.
So I don't know. Like watching someone do a dab. I've watched a couple friends do a dab, and then they just sit, and it's just like moves them. They just don't know what's going on for like an hour.
I hate being too high so much.
It's so uncomfortable, but that's the thing where, because, you know, again, I know you're going to be fine, so for that half hour, it's just like, ooh, this is pretty funny watching you just deal with your earth shatter, and then, you know.
I don't smoke weed anymore, but back when I used to, like towards the end there, it would usually be edibles that did it, and then like, it's that awful feeling where you're like, oh no, this is where I am until at least tomorrow.
Until I'm not.
Just gotta ride it out.
I'm gonna be dumb as fuck tomorrow, and probably the next day too. It feels terrible. Everything feels hot and tight in my head.
Yep.
It is funny watching people be like, I need to go to the hospital, and you're like, you don't. And then they insist, and then they end up in the hospital, and they're just like, you're high, and you need to go home and go to sleep.
Yeah, there's no do anything at the hospital. Like, the doctor will just be like, you're fine? I guess? Yeah.
For the amount of people, like, a buddy of mine one time got too high, and he was like, should I call my mom? No, man. He's like, I'm gonna call her, but should it be now or later? Like, my mom's gonna handle this, but I'm just wondering when it should happen.
I just saw a video like that of kids taking dabs, and it was the one kid's like crying, and he's like, and the other kids, because they're like TikTok teens, you know, he's like, chill, bruh, and he's like, fuck you, I'm calling my fucking mom. He just like doubled down. The guy's like, you good? You just hit the pen, bruh. He's like, fuck you.
I saw a comic. Our buddy used to give all these comics their first dab. That was like his thing.
God.
Oh my God.
And
that guy gave me my first
It wasn't a good move, but I saw a few comics handle it in such a funny way. One, we were at the apartment and he did a dab, and then we go outside, and I was like the local person with him. He's like, I need a car like now. I need to go. And I was like, it's coming, man. I can't make it get here quicker. And he just sat down in a huge puddle outside.
I was with you.
Yeah, he just sat down and he's like, we need to be gone. And I was like, it's
It was
coming,
Anthony
man.
Jeselnik. We can say who it was.
It was. Yeah, it was good.
Yeah.
I felt so bad because I'm
It
like,
wasn't Anthony Jeselnik's fault. It was Ganja John's fault. He shouldn't have been giving people. He got banned from the comedy club because he ruined so many shows. Because he would bring his dab rig and get people like way too high before shows, and then the shows would suck. Because he got him on dab. He ruined it getting dug with high once or whatever.
He gave me my first dab, and that was before I even knew you could do that.
I thought it was
like he took out a blowtorch, and I was like, whoa.
That was Felipe with me. I was just like, this feels like crack.
Yeah, it's a harder drug. It's for sure a harder drug.
Yeah, it doesn't feel like I've never done it because I've seen enough people where I'm like, well, I can barely handle a hit of a joint. So if I do that, it's gonna I might be in a different place mentally after it wears off.
You want to turn the lights on?
Yeah, dude.
You would go to the hospital if you did a dab.
Walking in like, I did a dab. Come on, give me a saline drip. Like, what are we doing for dabs? No, what's the protocol?
That's just
anyway.
it's almost a level of weed athleticism that it takes to deal with that, and like either you have it or you don't. Because I was like smoking a ton of weed and then tried to do a dab, and I couldn't handle it. And I thought I was smoking as much as like Funches and all the people who could like do a dab and then go on stage. And I did it, and I would have to go sit alone in a bathroom for an hour.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
I smoked a joint at some show where you gotta like do a set and then do a set high. And just the joint, I was in the mirror, I was talking to myself. And I remember, I was old, I was 35, and I'm like, you're talking to yourself. You know you're gonna be fine, but it just moves something in my head.
Yeah.
That it's just like gets this logic stone out of the way, and all of a sudden it's like, no, you're not gonna be fine. Talk to yourself. Get yourself. It's just such a weird.
It is funny to watch that happen to other people.
It is very funny where someone's in the green room twitching, and you're like, hey, you're all right.
You'll be all right.
Yeah,
go to the hospital after this podcast taping. David, time for your next two picks.
Next pick, watching somebody get cut off at a bar.
Oh yeah.
I thought I could get that like last.
Especially when you've seen it coming, where you've just been in the bar and you're like, this guy's a fucking asshole. He's like, we've had to get him out of our group. He's talking to girls or whatever, and then he gets cut off, and it's like, wow, what the fuck? Oh man, I love it.
Man, you got to be so out of pocket to get cut off at the bar.
Yeah.
They want to keep selling you booze.
Right.
Exactly. Depending on the bar, yeah.
Yeah.
I've seen people get cut off on a plane. That's always the funnest, where they're just like,
I've never seen that.
Yeah, a couple times. One dude was being belligerent. They cut him off like mid-flight, and he ended up passing out. And they did not wake him up. They just let everybody walk past him because I think they were like, he's going to be a problem when we wake him up. So we all just left. And the other one was a dude. They cut him off, and he's like, I figured, and he just took it. He was like, I knew it was going to happen.
That guy's a writer. That guy's a real one.
I've had the look. It was like on a flight from LA to Portland, and I was doing
like, let me get
doubles.
3 double gin and tonics, and they're like,
This was back in my like, I'm hitting the ground running. I'm like gonna fucking be drunk, and then we're gonna get drunker when I land. And like, with it where I was like, they were doing one last go around. Anything for anybody else? And I was like, one more double vodka soda, and they were like, all right. And then they gave it to me, and I was like, if I had tried even one more, for sure was getting cut off on
they
a
would have
flight.
reported you to the airport cops. They'd be like, watch
The air
for this guy.
marshal.
Yeah,
I've only been cut off once. Have you guys been cut off?
Never.
I sure have. Yeah.
I got cut off on my 30th birthday at a karaoke place.
I had to have been there.
I think you must have. It was at Voice Box, and someone had brought me like a goblet, and I broke it. I was
breaking shit'll get you out.
I was having to pour my drinks into the goblet, and I dropped it and broke it, and they were like, all right, that's it. And what's weird is like, I was drunk, but I wasn't cut me off drunk. It slipped.
You were messy.
I was messy.
I was then like eyes closed, standing up. Where that's the thing when this happened to me a few times, where they're like, you can't, and I go, I can, but it's like my eyes are almost shut completely, but I'm still
you
like,
get
let me
get a little punchy like that.
We get a Jaeger bomb. They're like, no, dude.
You're blinking.
It's never been violent. It's always been a bartender being like, you're good, man. You're all right. And I've never been removed. They're just like, you just can't have any more. Because I'm not a problem. Or what? Maybe I haven't been for years. Like if I'm drunk, I'm just happy, and I might get tired, but I'm never fighty or anything. So they're like, you can hang, but just don't go to sleep, and you can't drink anymore.
Dave, you
I
never been
have no stories.
Oh,
of this.
yeah. When I was younger, like when I first started going to bars in San Francisco, a bunch of times.
They put,
Yeah.
Do they ever draw X's
But
on
just
your
from, like,
hands?
but no, just from like being loud. Just from
Yeah.
like, just yelling, and they're like, bro, you gotta,
Yeah, you do get
Yeah.
loud.
you just gotta go.
I mean, you're just loud anyways, but like,
Yeah.
Yeah, but
when-
drunk David loud. Ooh.
Yeah.
well, like,
Lot.
I think about
Yeah.
Palm Beach. Don't need to dive in, but like
Fucking old team.
when we were in Palm Springs, and I was like, oh yeah, we should be. That was
Yeah.
one where we would have been if we didn't choose
That
to
was
leave.
also, though, I was mad at you specifically.
Yeah, you were...
I was angry with you for behaving like that. That wasn't like, that was at you. Not
Me?
like, you know.
You were being
I was mad
reasonable,
at you.
and we were all being unreasonable.
Oh,
Yeah,
I get it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was
Yeah,
trying.
yeah.
I was trying. I mean, I was right there, but I was like, "Can we be quiet?" David's like, "Don't tell me to be quiet."
I think we perceived you as siding with the wait staff, even though you were just siding with the side of, hey, let's not get arrested the first night when we're all on drugs.
And you were like, you're a hater.
Oh, you and all the fucking, like, stuffed shirts here at this steakhouse full of families that we're eating at 5.
30
I'm gonna
minutes.
buy 9 steaks. How about that?
Two paintings left, 30 minutes.
Snitch, and I was like, "I'm just saying, let's go back to the hotel, maybe."
Fucking cop.
Yeah. I can't breathe. I can't breathe.
Isn't that funny when you're trying to like gently tell your friends, you're like, I'm just trying to prevent a crime, everybody, and they're just
Yeah.
like so out of their minds they can't hear it. You fucking sell out, you've changed.
You're like, I'm loving you the most pure kind of love I can love you right now, and you're so angry about it.
We were at the Roost, and I just walked in, and I was like screaming, just like, "Whoa!" And Ian, he like put his hands on my shoulders and like squeezed a little bit, and he's like, "A lot of people looking at you." I was like, oh, okay. He's like, "Let's chill out," and I go, "Sure, yeah, all right, let's chill out."
A lot of people looking at you.
You can get there in the Roost, but you shouldn't start there at the
Yeah.
Roost.
And the Roost is somewhere where
Where's
it's
it
like
gonna end?
you can disrupt the flow in a way that, you know, it could cause a fight. But at the end of the night, that is the flow. So it's
That's the flow. It gets there. You'll get there. Yeah, watching someone get cut off is very funny. And your next
I
pick,
love it.
David?
I'm gonna go with missing the bus. Watching somebody miss
Oh,
like.
wow, that's
Well,
so
yeah.
mean.
when you're on the bus and you see someone, you're like,
Because
later,
it's
dog.
like, it's just happened to me so many times that I don't even, I'm like callous against it. Like, you should have left 45 minutes
That's
earlier.
what I get in my own head. I'm like, I got up. You couldn't get up. You chump.
Yeah.
I'm just as hungover as you are.
I
Should've made
hate to
it.
see that. It's so sad.
Oh, man.
That's the
So
one.
since San
That's the only one I
Francisco-
think I disagree with. That's the only one I disagree with so far. It pains me when I see that. I'm like, that sucks.
It's San Francisco because people be banging on it, you
I
know?
know.
Running up a hill with chubby little legs.
And they always got extra stuff.
Yeah,
It's
they
always
do.
they're stressed out. It's
They kick
never.
the bus.
I always think about the bus
The
driver.
bus drivers do not give a fuck.
I have seen some
They love, I bet they love
blooded.
it.
Yeah.
The bus drivers, but I'm like, this is your route, dog. That person can be here tomorrow on time and then have words with you on the bus. Like, why? I don't know why you'd want to invite that, because
I mean, bus drivers, at least
Yeah.
it seems, they're about that action. Like, they're not like timid people, I've seen.
They love that power.
Yeah.
And they should. I mean, it is
I don't know,
power.
man.
You can ruin someone's whole day, your whole
Yeah.
life, actually.
there was
Yeah.
a while, like a few years ago, somebody camped outside the TriMet station in Portland and stabbed a bus driver that like slighted them, and that's the shit where I'm like,
Really?
yeah, that happened at like the whatever on
I mean, that's a
82nd.
mentally ill person.
It is, but like that's what I'm saying. Like, who's to say that's not the
I
person
mean,
that
but they were gonna stab someone, you know?
Yeah.
Just happened to be the bus
Bus
driver.
driver.
I'm not saying if you miss the bus. I'm saying a lot of
Who's
times
gonna
what'll
the
happen
guy
is
who
like
worked
the
at
bus driver.
DQ?
You ever see this? It'll be a stoplight, and the light's red. They have pulled away
Mhm.
from the stop, but the light is red. They could open the door,
Oh,
and they won't.
yeah.
And
That
you're
one
like,
is the one that stings the most.
That's
Yeah.
like, you
brutal.
could let
When
them
you're
on.
like,
That's
dog,
just
you're
nasty.
still,
That's nasty.
I'm right here.
And you're saying like, I understand. I missed the bus, but this light is red.
Please.
Please help me out.
Please.
Please. I have to go to work. No one's riding the bus because they're like, I guess I'll get to the museum a little later. No big deal.
Yeah.
It's like
Right.
it's pretty important
Yeah,
shit when you're on the bus.
It's always like you're.
While we're on the subject of that, you guys let the bus in front of you. I hate when people don't let the bus merge. These people
Oh, yeah.
are on the
Always.
bus.
Yeah.
They are not going to get there before you. Just let them merge.
I
Let the
always
bus
let 'em.
merge.
That is like one of my biggest pet peeves on the road. It's like rubbernecking that, and I don't know,
Also,
tailgating.
the bus is gonna get there if it wants to get there. By the way, like I've seen them damn near nudge the car out of the lane.
Yeah, me too. I've seen that too.
Yeah.
But it's also like they shouldn't have to. You just let
No.
them in. They're on the bus. You have a car. They're on the bus.
And also that driver's at work. Like
Yeah, exactly. It's
they're
so
fucking,
fucked up.
They're having a bad time. Come on, let the bus in.
I hate it when people rubberneck. I hate it so much. When there's like
Oh yeah.
when there's a traffic jam, I'm just like I can't wait to see what this is for.
Oh,
and all it
I'm
is
like,
is a
somebody
cop.
better be dead.
Yeah, it's
Like,
just
what
a
do you-
cop
like-
had someone pulled over, and you're like, that's what you wanted to see. You had
Insane.
to stop and look and see what their eye color was before you could like.
You know,
fucking
people
keep
don't
going.
look at it as you're looking at someone's trauma unfold in real time. Like,
I hate
stop
it.
looking at that shit. Stop
Yeah.
looking at people's trauma. It's
ICP's
so
got
weird.
some funny. ICP's got a funny song about it. I'm just saying, they're funny.
Who?
ICP, man.
The Insane Clown
Clown.
Posse.
Oh.
Real funny song about it.
I believe you.
That's tight.
Man, I missed the bus in school a lot. And ran. I missed the bus. My mom got a bus driver fired once, a school bus driver, because I was a fat little kid and I missed the bus. I was like late for a bus. I was running after it. He made me run way too. He definitely saw me. I saw him make eye contact with me, and he slowed down but kept going for like probably about 100 yards. And then I got on, and then the bus driver said to everyone on the bus, "That's the furthest he's run his entire life."
He was doing bits. Yo, he did a bit. Oh no.
That's so funny because I was about to say he made you run because he was like this little fat fuck. Like he was
Yep.
just an asshole. He was
He was
just
an
really
asshole,
a piece
and then
of
he was
shit.
setting up a joke. And then, like,
Yeah.
if he would have done that 10 years earlier, he wouldn't have gotten fired. But it was the late 90s,
Yeah.
and Sue Carmel
Things were
was on the fucking
changing.
case. Yeah,
Oh wow.
you got fucking let go.
How big was his laugh? Was it a big laugh?
Oh, I bet,
Yeah, it was
dude.
pretty. It was a pretty.
I
Big
bet he
laugh.
was just putting it
What grade
on.
were you in, and how old were the oldest kids on that bus?
I was either in 6th or 7th grade.
Probably could have brought him in one at that point.
Damn,
This guy,
that's the hardest one.
I don't know. He was an old dude. He was like an old white-haired dude.
Yeah, it would have been elder abuse.
It would have been elder abuse, or he would have had old man strength and just
All right.
whooped I was big then. I wasn't strong yet.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
I was like just fat.
Well, you were probably strong. You just didn't know how to navigate the strength.
Mhm. I would have no idea.
True story.
I did navigate the strength of a very angry white woman. Sean Jordan, time for your 4th pick.
When someone gets a little water or a little fluid down the wrong tube, because it just like they go ham so quick because they're just like drinking, then all of a sudden it's like, and it's just like, what the fuck
It always
happened to you?
surprises you. Yeah.
Like, what's
Yeah.
going
It's like
on?
you're
And they're
drowning for a second.
Yeah, it's a lizard. Your lizard brain gets activated, and it's like, you're gonna die.
and we're like, what? You're like, and then
You
it's
get all
always
red.
like, you always, because everyone tries to chill it out prematurely, and they're like, you good? And they're like, and you can see them fighting off a cough for like 30 seconds, and then they just give the, and you're
Yeah,
like, just cough, just go ham and get it out. But yeah, dude, that's the funniest shit. Like, especially at a restaurant, like if they think they're gonna spit up.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I've wrong tubed a couple times, or this has happened multiple times. Sean, I think you've been there for a couple of them. When I have taken water down the wrong tube and I just spit it out. I can't control. It's like a thing where I, for some reason, however I'm designed, I can't control it, and I've spit water all over people a few times, including all over Peter Serafinowicz once at Bridgetown.
Yeah, I was there.
We were doing a big show. He's this huge British comedian who's like in movies and all this shit. He was so nice to us, and then I took a drink, and then it just like went wrong, and I was just like all over his face. And then you just have to deal with it, where you're like, yeah, I just did that, and now you have my water all over you, and I
He
guess
was
it's waiting
fine.
to
He
go
was
forward.
He was
He
one of the
couldn't have been
raddest
nicer.
dudes I've ever met. He was pretty cool.
He
But
couldn't
yeah.
have been nicer about it, but I spit water all over him.
Yeah, man. I remember that. Yeah, watching some shit go down the wrong tube. It is tight.
That's funny.
It's very funny. It is, because it's watching someone get waterboarded by themselves for like half a second.
These are all so low stakes where you're like,
Yeah.
probably gonna be fine unless you have like a crazy aneurysm ready to pop. You're gonna be all right. It'll be a bummer for a minute.
Time for my fourth pick. I don't see this often, but anytime I see it, it's very funny to me. And it's ice cream falling off of a cone.
Oh my god, that's a good one. That is funny.
It's like the speed of it is hilarious. It's like
It's kind of slow.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
an avalanche building, and then it hits, and there's no scooping that up.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's also no catching it
There's
because
no
it's like,
catching it.
yeah.
It's gonna slide off your hand. There's
Yeah.
no pick. It's not like a food you
There's
can
no
pick up off the
saving it.
ground. There's no 3-second rule with ice
No.
cream. That shit's gone.
I've watched it happen. I've watched my nephews like start talking and then they turn and their hand just starts to tip because they don't have a concept. And I'm
Oh
just
my
like,
god.
I've just sat there and
So
been like,
funny.
shit's going to hit the ground, dude. It's hilarious.
It's really funny when it happens to kids. Oh
Yeah.
my god.
Yeah.
Because that
It's like
ruins their day.
That's their world. It'd be like if my
That was
wallet
the
was just
highlight of their
empty.
day, and it just got taken away.
Oh, it's so
That's
funny.
gonna hold. That's.
Yeah.
Because that
It's like
ruins their day.
That's their world. It'd be like if my
That
wallet
was
was
the
just
highlight of their
empty.
day, and it just got taken away.
Oh, it's so
That's
funny.
gonna hold. That's probably happening once a month for them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe once a week, and it falls off. And weeks are so long when you're a kid.
Uh-huh.
And ice cream is the best thing that can happen to you.
Oh my god.
And if you've got the kind of parent who's not gonna go get you another one, that's it.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's sad. Especially because you know that the waffle cone or the cone was like the splurge, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Mhm.
You're just like, well, now I have this fucking cone. I can't eat the cone without the fucking ice cream.
I got a
There's-
wet
you
cone.
know?
Yeah.
That's a tough sell to a kid. Be like, no, you still got the cone, and they're like, what the fuck do I care about the cone?
I'm not a 35-year-old improv student. I'm not excited about Stroop waffles.
They just get all grown up. Why the fuck would I want a
Why
cone
the fuck would I want a waffle cone, you idiot?
with no ice cream? You know what? Go
You're
back
an
to
idiot.
work. Go work
You're
on
a
Mom,
Sunday.
you're a bitch.
You're a fucking idiot.
So-
Pull your head out of your ass and go get me another
You
one.
know what? Skip the prostate exam the next couple of years. Do me a fucking favor.
Go give me another one. New cone too. New cone.
Give me
And
a
then
new
they just
cone.
drop the
you
cone.
you can have the fucking cone. So excited about cones.
This cone's so great. Why don't you go deposit in the bank account? Give me another fucking cone.
Christ.
Oh my god, so funny. Oh my god, that's a great pick.
It's
Yeah.
just so fun. It's like the kind of where you're like, oh, like that kind of laugh when you see a kid do it.
Wait, and you know, but when you're an adult too, you're like, you can't like be upset because you're an adult and you can
Yeah.
afford another scoop, but you're also just like, but this is what do I do now?
There's also something fundamentally hilarious about an adult eating an ice cream cone in the first place, where it's like, this is a little bit funny that an
But then the
adult.
little things become the problems, because then I'm like, well, I don't want to wait in the fucking line again. Like I was,
Yeah,
you know.
that's a whole
then
thing
it's,
when you're an adult.
Mm-hmm. You know.
Yeah, it's like maybe I shouldn't be eating ice cream. Maybe that was a sign that my cholesterol's creeping
Yeah,
up.
it turns into something else when you're an adult. Meanwhile, your friend is like, "Are you gonna get a fucking ice cream cone or not, bitch? Are we moving on? Are we? It's a block away. It's a block away. It's now or never." It turns
You
into
gotta
that.
come back. Yeah. Oh my god. Ice cream falling off the cone. Marcella, time for your fourth and then your final pick.
Okay, my fourth and my final. Let's see what I have. Okay. This is specific. This doesn't apply to everyone, okay? But when someone who has, they have a lot of money and their card gets declined.
Oh my god.
Like,
man.
when it's someone that is like broke, you actually feel bad for them because like,
Yeah.
no, I got
it's
this.
the
I'm
worst.
trying to
It's
play.
the
I
worst.
wanted to pay. Da da da. But when you know this motherfucker has money, like it like triggers that trauma from before when they didn't have money,
Yeah.
and they're just like,
Yeah.
oh god, I swear, and you're just like, bitch, I know you have money. This is actually really funny watching you react to it. Like, I don't care that your card got declined. We're fine. And if I have to pay for it, I also know we could split it. Like, it's not that big of a deal. But in that moment, when someone who has money and their card gets declined, that shit is so
Yeah.
funny.
I've pulled up my bank account. I've straight up been like, look, it's there. And they're like, I didn't think it wasn't. Just,
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
probably your chip reader, dude. I'm not.
It could be anything.
As someone with money now who used to not have it, you immediately you feel like you just woke up from a dream where you had money.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, I never did. It's so fucking scary. And then you're like, Did I get like my identity stolen? Did I get hacked? Where like they just fucking siphoned my accounts? What happened?
I
Like, what's
always
going
check
on right now?
immediately, and I'm like, whew.
Yeah, like you did something to get all your money taken away somehow.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna have to call and apologize to a bank, like when I used to overdraft.
Well, and it's tough too, because if I plan on picking up the tab or whatever, I might order some stuff I wouldn't have if I didn't know who was going to
Right.
pay for it. And then if I can't pay for it, I'm like, I'm sorry that I got like 9 Jaeger bombs, and they're $12 each. I'm sorry about that.
I'll hit you back.
Okay, I'll
You
get
got
next.
Venmo?
I'll hit you
Oh,
back.
it's so funny.
Yeah, that's
I like when like you're for me because I still have a bank where I have to call to tell them that I'm traveling. So if I forget to call them to tell them I'm traveling, my card will get declined. Like I'm
Oh, yeah.
out of state. And for that second, I'm like, oh my god, I have no money. And it's just like, you stupid idiot, you just didn't fucking call your bank.
You're in Bloomington. Yeah. Shit, yeah.
Shit's scary though, man. I was in Costa Rica. I didn't tell my bank I was going anywhere, and I'm in Costa Rica of all places. And at customs on the way home, you have to pay I didn't know that you had to pay like $30 fee for some shit. All I had was my card. I didn't even have any Costa Rican money, and it didn't go through a few times. And I was just like, I was all hammered at the airport at 4 a.m, like a total dipshit. It ended up going through, but I was so scared. I was like, "Why? Just live in Costa Rica outside the airport now for a while?" Tell my friends.
Oh man, that's brutal.
Could be worse.
Yeah, it sucked. Then I got through customs and got drunker. It was tight.
Had a bad.
What a surprise.
Yeah.
And your final pick, Marcella.
My final pick is getting rejected at the bar.
Ah.
Ooh, yeah, I had that on mine too.
That one is painful to watch. I mean, but hilarious to watch.
Dude,
Oh, it's
Hilarious
so
to
good.
watch, painful to have it happen to you.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so good.
when I was bartending, I watched so many dudes come with like the wackiest shit at the end of the night to say to girls, and just watching them get shut down was so. I was washing dishes one time, and this dude just sidled up on a girl paying her tab, and he's like, "What's up with your teeth? They're so white." And I was just dying laughing washing the dishes, and she's like, "Yeah," and then she signed. He's like, "What are you doing? Like, how you getting them so white?" And I was just like, "Bro, this is your 2
That's your
a.m.
line.
This is your knuckleball at the end of the game. This is what you're doing." I was shocked. I love that shit. Is so fun to watch.
Yeah.
I like to self reject. Last night, this really tall, thin black guy comes up to me, and I go, "What's your name? Nipsey Struggle?" And he was like, he kind of did a chuckle, and then he walked away. And I was like, "Yeah, I don't know what this is anymore. I don't know
Nipsey
what I'm doing."
struggle.
Where did you think that was gonna go?
I didn't care. I was like, at this point, I'm like, I'll reject him before he rejects me.
That is funny, knowing you're like, this person's probably never had shit talked to them, so I'm gonna go ahead
Well,
and do that.
that's my favorite thing when like dudes are hot, like fucking
Yeah.
talking shit. They don't know what to do with it.
Let me take myself out of the game. That's probably actually
Yeah.
the best strategy.
Yeah.
It's the only strategy I use now.
Yeah. Oh, that's
But
a great
watching
pick.
someone get rejected is very funny.
Love it.
I went up to my sister with this guy was like hitting on my sister at the bar the other night, and I just go, "She's married," and I turned around.
Is she married?
Yes.
Okay, good. So it was accurate too.
I mean,
that's
you know,
what
when
it's
you're
all.
at the bar, you're like, whatever, I'm out. Like, it's just
Yeah.
a little
Yeah,
flirty,
okay.
never
You
hurt
still want to
anybody.
receive the flirt? Yeah.
Yeah.
That ain't no big deal.
I remember talking to Greg Edwards about that when we were younger, because he was just like, I just like no one, I still got it. That's what Greg was saying. So I was like, yeah, okay.
I bet it's a good feeling.
Yeah, you're falling asleep.
No, but my kitten is falling asleep next to me, and I'm just
Mm.
receiving that energy.
Okay.
I'm just receiving that energy. She's so cute. She's such a little
I
kid.
guess.
She is, and we'll get to the final picks right after this second break.
Now, when you're starting off a clothing company, you want it to have an amazing. Best with skincare and hair care made just for you. They use data from hundreds of for anything as much.
Yeah.
Going to pick, and we're back. Welcome back to All Fantasy Everything.
Fresh air.
We're back here on the podcast now, and it's time for Ian Carmel's final pick. Ian Carmel's approaching the microphone. He's inspecting his list, and he is going to pick. He is going to pick. He is going to pick someone getting a calf cramp.
Oh, that's twisted, bro. Yeah.
It seems so fake.
Yeah,
You're watching
exactly.
it. You're like, that's not a... Come on, grow up.
It
Fine,
can't hurt.
stop it.
It can't hurt that much, and they're like,
Yeah.
it does hurt this much.
Oh, that's so
Nothing.
funny.
A cramp is the worst fucking pain on earth, and watching like someone else go through it, it's so cartoonish. I love it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
They have to
And
stand up.
specifically with the calf, because you gotta bend down. Oh, ow!
Yeah. Yeah, they have to like bend over, or they have like a weird position they get in where it stops cramping. And then there's also the aftershocks where it's like they think they stretched it out, but then for the next 5 to 10 minutes, it like goes again. And also the muscles in their leg get all fucked up and tense too, and everything.
Yeah.
It's so
Absolutely.
funny to watch.
It's really funny.
So that's my final pick. It's getting a calf cramp.
I like, you know how like some of the other picks we've had like examples. This is like the one where we're just like, we've seen it. I don't know. I
Yeah,
have
you've seen a calf cramp,
there's no
right?
wild story about it because there isn't. It's just like a thing that you see and it's funny and then you move on. There's no
Yeah.
big story.
Fucking calf cramps. If we you know, you connect the dots. This is when you do it at home. Sean Jordan, time for your final pick.
This is pretty comedy specific, but we're all stand-ups. I like watching. I like when
you're using that term a little too confidently.
the three of you do stand-ups. I like watching a comic like straight up forget their jokes when they actually do forget them. When they're so nervous, and I'm like, get out of your head, you got it. They're there. You said them 1,000 times, but you're so nervous for some reason.
Well,
And
it's for me, it's
funny.
also like you should have brought notes. You didn't get
yeah.
any sleep last night. You should have brought notes.
Yeah, I just love it when people trip through and how they try to be like, what they try to do to save it. They're like, well, I forgot that one, and the shit, the laughs they try to get just because they're blowing it. It's just so funny to me.
You'll see him sometimes. You know the joke, and you'll see him put like a joke from the second setup. They jam in later so they can try to recover another punchline, even though they've told the big punchline already. And you're like, what are you doing?
It's a tight one to see.
They put the caboose in the middle of the train. You're like, come on.
Well, the thing is, people always get like in the audience. You can see people get like, oh my god, nervous or scared or whatever, feel bad for them. I'm like, don't feel bad for them. They'll be all right.
Yeah,
it's fine.
it'll be fine.
It's not this. I mean, if they're not, then maybe they shouldn't be doing stand up. It's hilarious. Enjoy that if it happens. It's funny to watch.
It's also funny watching someone forget and you know the end, and you're like, oh, I could have fed you the whole way.
Yeah.
Because they've actually done that joke so much, but like sometimes you just blank when you're on stage.
It just leaves you.
Mm-hmm.
Dave, time for your final pick.
Watching somebody try to get a dance party started and failing. Like when it doesn't work,
They're just like, come on out, y'all, and they're like, nah.
or it'll be like sometimes it'll be like a girl like trying to like a white lady trying to like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And nobody wants it, and she'll like go to different people like a cat trying to like rub against their legs, and that shit does not crack off. Oh my god, it's so funny. Or like dudes trying to do it, it's so funny when it doesn't work.
It's also,
it works a lot.
It's also funny when you're like, I could join you, but this is funnier.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like I could give you what you're looking for, and I won't.
Yeah.
I actually do want to dance, but it turns out there's something I want more.
Yeah.
Laugh at you, bitch.
Just want to see you fucking.
Yeah.
It's always the wrong song.
Yeah.
Like it's some
Yeah.
trap song, and she's doing this.
Yeah.
Like, this is an ass shaking song.
Yeah.
That's dope.
It's just, I do think it's weird though, because people do see a dance floor and if it's empty, they're like, oh my god, I'm so petrified. I can't go out there. One time me and my brother went out dancing at a local bar in Modesto, at the fucking sports bar, and as soon as we walked in, we were like, it's packed, but like the dance floor was empty, and we found that very weird, and we were like, we showed up to dance. So we literally got our drinks, walked on the dance floor, and as soon as we started dancing, everyone bum rushed, and I was just like, you guys are so insecure. This is so weird. It's not that
What were you
serious.
waiting for?
Yeah. That is weird. The other shit is funnier, watching somebody.
Yeah, it's just like, oh yeah,
Come on.
they do that in the hand.
Yeah, the hand, come on.
They point.
I could jiggle in the ball. Hey, come on, jiggle your balls out here.
I'll jiggle your balls. Get out here and dance.
It's also like a funny way to like watch someone like, oh, your friends don't like you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They do not like
That's
your
a big
back.
part of it.
that you see that energy sometimes where people are like, she fucking always does this. I told you not to fucking text Teresa, dude. She's gonna do that shit.
Oh man, that's funny.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
That's such a good pick. That's such a good pick. And our final pick. That was the final pick of the draft. Marissa, do you have one for us?
Seeing someone get pooped on by a bird.
Oh, yeah.
That's a good one.
Yeah, that's a great one.
I think it's like my phobia, because I always get nervous when birds fly over me, so I think it's just validating when someone else gets pooped on by a bird. I'm like, see, it happens. It's scary. It's bad.
Has it ever happened to you?
It's never once happened to me, but I've had many close calls.
It sucks.
I've been pooped on.
It sucks.
Me too.
Yeah, I got crapped on a couple years ago in the
Yeah,
Dale.
I've got 2 of them.
I was wearing a suede jacket. I was pissed.
Oh, no.
Suede. Yeah, and it was brown, so it's like, it looked hella nasty because it was brown suede, and it was just like this white poop. Just, it was disgusting.
Could the dry cleaner get it out, or was it cash?
We tried, no. I mean, it was like the mark was still there. There's no way around it. Suede.
Suede. Shit.
Literally.
Literally shit. Well, Marcella, you went first. You took watching someone get barfed on, someone clogging the toilet, someone thinking someone's saying hi to them, but they're not, someone having money, but then seeing their card get declined, and then watching someone get rejected at the bar. I went next. I took watching someone getting canceled on Twitter, people getting into a drunken street fight, caring too much about sports, an ice cream falling off of their cone, and then watching someone getting a calf cramp. Sean, you went third. You took watching someone slip on ice, stepping in poop, getting too high, fluid going down the wrong tube, and then forgetting their jokes on stage. David, you went last, and you took watching someone have a bad haircut, watching them get a parking ticket, seeing them getting cut off at the bar, missing the bus, or failing to get a dance party going.
I might just be a bad friend.
You know what was funny? I was looking at, all the different ideas you guys will provide me with, and I was like, there's not a lot of people that will happily just be ready to list off reasons to laugh at others. And I was like, I have to take this topic, because who else?
You were the right person for the right topic. This was a hand-in-glove situation.
When I saw you pick it, I was like, yeah, of course.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna pick something else, and I was like, no, this one can get a little. This will be fun.
Yeah, this is
I
really
also
fun.
love bringing the mean out of people. It's all there. It's always there.
That's because you're a bully.
We want to hear your picks. Hit us up at AllFantasyPod on Twitter, allfantasypodcast@gmail.com. Shout out to everyone on the All Fantasy Everything Patreon. Thank you for holding us down, the AFE Patreon, where we now have AFE mailbags, the Shislackity. We have the All Fantasy Everything Movie Club. We have things that are dank that I'm stoked on. Sean Jordan's Positive Podcast, the opposite of this podcast. We have playlist recommendations. We have pre-rolls where Marissa records us before we start the podcast. All the shit that you can't hear on these, you can hear on the Patreon. So make sure you join that. Shout out to everyone on there and on the AFE Shislackity. Shout out to everyone on the All Fantasy Everything subreddit. Shout out to Saint Sue Carmel. Shout out to Frankie Ocean. Shout out to Sid the Dude. Shout out to Haji Beats. And more important than all of that, tune in again next week to another brand new episode of All Fantasy Everything.
Dime store blackberries.
That was a headgum podcast.
Yes, no check.
Con la fruta grande.
Solo para la borracho muchacho.
No tiene, ¿cómo se dice? Headphones?
For real. In the next bet, he still wouldn't put his headphones on. Muy borracho. Muy borracho y muy muchacho.
Torres y
Very drunk
el
and
otro llama es el borracho muchacho.
This one.
Yeah, this is how we're gonna all get. And then after this is all over, we're gonna be bilingual. It's gonna be
Yeah.
great. How did you learn Spanish? Well,
I'll
I'm
tell you.
French, Torres.
Thank God Shane sucks so bad.
Oh.
He just texted me like
I love you. We love him.